Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend, the What If guy, back with another fanfiction. This is the first part of What If Issei Becomes Powerful Hollow. Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. Rias looked at Issei with a serious expression. Issei, who am I to you? Issei hesitated, trying to find the right words. You're the president and... Rias interrupted, her frustration boiling over. You're being insensitive, Issei. In a moment of anger, Rias slapped Issei, leaving marks on his face. Issei, confused, asked, "But what did I do?" Akino chimed in, shaking her head. You really are dense. Zenobia added, even I can see what's going on here. Issei looked around, bewildered. Guys, what did I do wrong? Kiba sighed. Come on man. How can you not tell? Asia frowned. Issei, you're being a JRK. Kaneko crossed her arms. You're the worst. Issei turned to Gasper. Do you hate me too? Gasper hesitated. Kind of. Issei's gaze returned to Rias, who was clearly upset. President, Rias, overwhelmed, shouted, I should have let Rainier kill you twice. Realizing what she had just said, Rias covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face. Issei's expression shifted from confusion to hurt. What did you mean by that? I'm sorry. Rias exclaimed before storming out of the clubroom, leaving Issei and the others in stunned silence. His cuts were bleeding, but he didn't even notice. Issei turned to the remaining members. What did she mean by that? Rias shrugged. I don't really know. Who is Rainier? Ravel looked guilty. I feel like this is my fault. Akino shook her head. No, it's not. Issei's frustration boiled over. Stop ignoring me. What did she mean by letting Rainier kill me? His voice rose, startling everyone, but three of them looked particularly frightened. Akino, Kaneko, and Kiba couldn't meet his gaze. You three know what she meant, Issei said, his tone dangerous. Kiba finally spoke up, because she knew about Rainier hunting you and let her kill you. Akino added, so that she could add you to her peerage and help break off the engagement. Irina gasped. What? Issei was on the edge, his emotions spiraling out of control. He began to hyperventilate, his face a mix of shock and pain. Irina tried to calm him down, wrapping her arms around him, but it only made things worse. Stay away from me, all of you. I can't take it anymore. It's one lie after another. Issei shouted, shaking uncontrollably. His heart raced and he felt a surge of power. The others rushed to hold him down, but none of their efforts seemed to work. Asia used her healing abilities, but it was futile. Issei pushed them away, his eyes filled with fury. After everything I did and went through, this is what I get in return? He yelled, tears mixing with the blood from his cuts. Drake's voice echoed in his mind. Everyone keep your distance. He's too unstable. Issei, please calm down. Like hell, Drake. Issei shouted, bursting through the window and taking off into the sky at supersonic speed. Back in the clubroom, Akino, Kaneko, and Kiba stared out at the broken window, feeling the weight of the situation. Rias turned to them. You guys let him die? Akino couldn't meet her gaze. Yes. Irina was furious. But you let my childhood friend die? Zenobia demanded, I want to know how. Kiba explained everything about Issei being a target due to his sacred gear and the fallen angels attacking him, followed by Rias reincarnating him. Asia added, you don't know what else he endured. He took a light spear 3 times for me after you made him a devil. Kaneko asked, when? Asia replied, once in the chest when we met, and twice in the legs after my sacred gear was forcibly removed. I was on the verge of death, but I opened my eyes and saw him taking on Rainier all on his own. He cried for me and was determined to avenge me. Akino looked down, guilt washing over her. We didn't. Asia pressed on. Did you know I was a target too? Issei told you so you would help. Kiba admitted, yeah, he told us. Gasper, hiding, asked, and you guys let Big Sis Asia die too? Kiba, Kaneko, and Akino lowered their heads, ashamed. Rias took charge. I'm going to look for Issei. Anyone want to help? Irina nodded. I'm in. I can't stand being in the same room as them. Gasper, Zenobia, Asia, and Ravel joined her, determined to find Issei. He may have flown away, but they could still track him. Meanwhile, Rias wandered through the school hallway, her mind racing. She heard a sonic boom that cracked some windows and looked out to see Issei in his balance breaker, flying at incredible speed. She felt his power surging uncontrollably. As she touched the cracked window, she noticed something moist. Looking closer, she realized it was blood. "Sit. What have I done?" she whispered, guilt flooding her heart. Issei, far away, was filled with regret. Memories of betrayal flashed through his mind as he reached the edge of Japan, landing on a desolate cliff. He unleashed his power, firing dragon shots into the sea and sky, creating shockwaves that shook the ground. Exhausted, he finally stopped and deactivated his balance breaker, feeling completely drained, both physically and emotionally. Issei stood at the edge of the cliff, feeling overwhelmed by despair. Just as he was about to take a step forward, his knees buckled, and he fell to the ground. He gazed out at the ocean, letting his emotions pour out in anguished cries. His voice echoed over the waves, filled with feelings of betrayal and heartbreak, as if even nature paused to allow him this moment of release. Memories of Rias, Akino, Kaneko, and Kiba flooded his mind. Those who had once helped, trained, and laughed with him, but who had also caused him immense pain. They had manipulated his feelings, while Rainier, despite her dark nature, had been honest about her intentions. She had given him a good final day, unlike those he had trusted. They really are devils, and now I'm stuck being one of them, Issei muttered, his voice heavy with sorrow. Partner. Drake began but faltered. For the first time in my long life, I have no words to comfort you. I'm sorry. It's fine. Drake, I need to be alone. Please, Issei replied, his voice barely above a whisper. I understand, Drake said softly. Issei remained there, tears flowing until the dirt beneath him turned to mud. As the day wore on, he lay in silence, unaware that Rias, Irina, Zenobia, Gasper, Ravel, and Asia had teleported nearby just as he had begun to unleash his dragon shots. The scene was overwhelming. Irina and Asia attempted to approach him, but Zenobia and Rias stopped them with a look that conveyed their concern. They watched as Issei vented his emotions, his mental state in complete turmoil. The group observed him throughout the night, his body motionless. Eventually, exhaustion took over, and he fell into a deep sleep, his blood pressure having dropped significantly. They reflected on his suffering. So Rainier, his first love, toyed with his emotions and caused his downfall, while the woman he loves now let it happen and used him for her own gain, Rias summarized. And all it took was one sentence to break him, just because he was afraid to confess. Did I miss anything? No, that's about it, Irina replied. You know, now that I think about it, he never made a move on any of us, even when it was clear we wanted him. Every time I looked into his eyes, I saw fear overshadowing his desires. After what he's been through, I'm afraid he won't be the happy, optimistic Issei we all know and love, Zenobia added. Asia's eyes filled with tears. And we only made it worse by being condescending. We never looked into why he was so afraid, Gasper said, his voice heavy with regret. I never thought someone as kind and happy as him could suffer so much, Ravel admitted. We are all horrible friends, Irina concluded. As they watched Issei, who lay still, they decided to approach him, hoping to help. But when they got closer, they saw him crying even in his sleep, twitching from nightmares, the cuts on his face still fresh. Asia instinctively began to heal his wounds, but Issei awoke suddenly, panic in his eyes as he jumped away from them, breathing heavily. It's us, big brother Issei, Gasper said gently. In his state of fear, Issei barely recognized them. Irina tried to step closer, but he shouted, "Stay back!" He summoned his gauntlet, preparing to unleash a dragon shot. Rias quickly raised a shield. Issei fired, and the blast struck the ground near the edge of the cliff, causing it to crumble beneath him. He began to fall into the water below. The others rushed to catch him, but it was too late. Gasper attempted to freeze time but was unable to focus amidst the chaos. They reached for his hand, but Issei kept his arms at his sides, unwilling to be saved. They screamed his name and dove after him, but the turbulent waters swallowed him up. Hours passed as they searched, but there was no sign of him. The grim reality began to set in. Issei, Zenobia whispered. Please come back. Issei, Asia pleaded, tears streaming down her face. Big brother. Gasper called out, his voice breaking. You didn't deserve this, Issei, Rias said softly. No, no, no. Issei. Irina cried out, her voice filled with despair. The group broke down in tears, mourning the loss of someone they had all come to care for deeply. The next morning, they returned to Kyoto after a fruitless search, none of them having slept. They entered the school, ignoring everyone around them, and headed straight to the ORC, finding it empty. I'm kind of glad it's empty, Zenobia said quietly. Same, Irina agreed. We just wish he was here, Gasper added. Meanwhile, Issei had washed ashore and eventually regained consciousness. His face stung from the saltwater on his cuts. Alone and disoriented, he struggled to think clearly about where to go. Deciding to take a walk, he wandered toward a nearby forest, lost in thought and unaware of the presence following him. Suddenly, he felt something brush against his right arm. Turning, he saw a creature that resembled a skinwalker, but it appeared weaker and more emaciated than usual. Its skin was ash gray, with black lines running across its chest, and a gaping hole that looked like an injury. Issei stared into the creature's lifeless eyes, feeling a mix of fear and curiosity. The creature let go and fell to the ground. Issei looked at it and noticed it had horns that pointed forward. Slowly, the creature began to crack like cheap porcelain and then turned to dust. What was that thing? A skinwalker? Issei wondered aloud as he examined the bite mark on his arm. It barely had enough strength for one last attempt at a meal, he muttered. Partner, you okay? Drake asked. Yeah, Drake, I'm okay, I guess, Issei replied, though uncertainty lingered in his voice. I think we should head back to the others, Drake suggested. Issei started to shake at the mere mention of them. Why should I? Because you'll be marked as a stray. When you were passed out on the cliff, Asia, Irina, Zenobia, Ravel, Gasper, and Rias came after you. They tried to help, but in your panicked state, you attacked them and fell off the cliff. Don't worry, they are not harmed. Drake, I know you want to give up after everything you've been through, and that's understandable. But think about those who still care. Did anyone else ever hurt you? No, but... Come on, Issei, don't make them think you're dead. They don't need to suffer too. Issei hesitated but reluctantly agreed. Alright, Drake, let's go. He activated his balance breaker and flew home. After a while, he arrived but was breathing heavily after deactivating his power. Why am I so tired? He wondered. You expended just about all your strength. You did leave a few new craters on the moon after all, Drake pointed out. Issei chuckled at that. Yeah, that I did. When he got to his house, he saw his parents looking worried. His mother, Mickey, asked, Issei, where have you been? We haven't seen you since yesterday. Sorry, Mom. Something happened, and I needed to clear my head, he replied. His father, Goro, noticed the cuts on his face. Issei, you got hurt. Did someone hurt you? Don't worry, Dad. I'm fine. I got hit with a thorny branch. I'm okay, but I'm tired and just want to sleep. Sorry. Issei walked up to his room and cleaned up. He washed the cuts on his face, hiding the bite marks from his parents. Looking in the mirror, the cuts reminded him of her. He sat in the tub, sobbing. Drake's words had only brought him temporary comfort. The effects of what he experienced went deeper than he could have imagined. Eventually, he calmed down and felt numb inside. He went through the motions of getting ready for school, eating breakfast, and barely spoke to his parents, who were worried sick about him. At school, he was greeted by his friends Matsuda and Motohama. Yo, Issei, how you doing? Motohama asked, but Issei didn't respond and kept walking. Matsuda stopped him. Hey bro, you okay? They looked at Issei and saw something that scared them. Nothing. There was no emotion, no response, no life in his eyes, as if he wasn't alive anymore. Speak to us. Come on, Matsuda urged. Dude, it's us. Your friends. Motohama added. Issei's eyes flickered with a hint of life. Guys? Both friends hugged him when he called out to them. Other students noticed and word spread quickly that Issei wasn't himself. The gossip reached the ORC in minutes, and they all rushed out to see him. Rias was the first to run out, surprising even Kiba with her speed. As she approached, the two boys hoped she could snap him out of it, followed closely by the others, including Rosweiss. As soon as Rias hugged him and called his name, Issei started shaking. Let go, he shouted, pulling away from her embrace. Why? Rias asked, confused. Just stay away, Ars, he yelled, his voice filled with venom. Rias stepped forward. You finally said my name. Tears streamed down her face, not just because he acknowledged her but because of how he said it. There was no love, only pure hatred. He had lost all respect for her the moment he learned she let him and Asia down. Issei fell back into a defensive position, triggering alarms in everyone's minds. Everyone get to class, that's an order. We'll handle this, Rosweiss commanded. Everyone left except for Matsuda and Motohama. That includes you two as well, Rosweiss insisted. Issei's our friend, and we won't leave him like this, Matsuda said. We can help, Motohama added. Fine. Rosweiss relented. Irina, it's us. Don't you recognize us? Irina asked gently. Irina? Issei replied, his voice trembling. Yes, it's me, she confirmed, taking a step forward. Please stay back. All of you, Issei said, his voice breaking. Issei, we know we were wrong for what happened yesterday. Please let us try to make it right, Asia pleaded. Yes, that's all we ask of you, Zenobia added. Issei remained silent, his anger boiling. Like the so-called chance you gave me when you forced me into your mess? Why should I? You knew about it and instead of helping me and Asia, you let us suffer. I don't know who I can trust here. Matsuda and Motohama exchanged worried glances with the ORC. I never meant to hurt you, Issei. It's just. Rias started. Enough of the lies, Rias. Stop lying and manipulating me for once in your life. Issei shouted. I never did any of that, Rias insisted. Didn't I just tell you to stop lying? You let me die. You let Asia die and you could have done something about it. What? Matsuda and Motohama exclaimed. It's not what it sounds like, Kiba tried to explain. No? What he said can only mean one thing, so please explain, Matsuda pressed. There's nothing to explain, Akino said. Issei spread his devil wings, sensing their intent to restrain him. Matsuda and Motohama stared in shock at the sight. Suddenly, Kaneko appeared behind them and knocked them out. In retaliation, Issei tackled her into a tree. The others seized the opportunity to restrain him with their bodies. They tackled him to the ground, too strong for him to fight back in his current state. Issei felt helpless, pinned down by those he believed had betrayed him, struggling to escape but to no avail. Eventually, Issei stopped moving, and Rias was on top of him, filled with worry. When she saw his face, her heart sank. Please. Just let me go. I can't. Issei's eyes were devoid of life, tears streaming down his cheeks. He had dark circles under his eyes, and his face was pale. Rias and Akino felt as if they had been struck by a spear through the chest. Kaneko maintained a stoic expression, trying to control her emotions, while Kiba knelt down, realizing the gravity of their actions. They had completely broken the one who had brought them all together. Rosweiss cast a sleep spell on Issei, knocking him out to prevent the students watching from the windows from seeing what had happened. They carried Issei to the nurse's office and laid him on the bed. Akino cast a spell to erase everyone's memory of the incident, leaving only the members of the ORC and Irina aware of what transpired. As Issei lay in bed, the others remained by his side. Asia stayed close, holding his hand, while Irina kept a watchful eye on him. Will he be okay? Zenobia asked, Concern etched on her face. Drake's voice echoed in Issei's mind. Like hell he will. How is he? Rias asked, her voice trembling. Just look at him, Gremory. How can anyone answer that? Drake replied. Has anyone told her what happened after she left? Rosweiss interjected. I did, Drake said. Do any of you know why he was keeping his distance from everyone, even those who didn't hurt him? We have a guess, but we're not completely sure, Zenobia admitted. I'll tell you. After Rainier used him and took his life, he developed a fear of women. He was on the verge of overcoming it, but it still lingered in his heart. The reason he didn't confess yesterday was due to a few significant reasons. Please tell me, Rias urged. First, he is definitely in love with you but was afraid of rejection, which is completely normal considering how much he cared. Second, he never called you by your name out of respect. You are his king, and he feared that a relationship would cause trouble for both of you. Third, he wanted to call you by your name when you were alone, but with so many people in your lives, you two couldn't be alone for even a moment. A moment of silence followed. But after you accidentally revealed the truth, that old fear completely took over, and now he is afraid of nearly every woman he sees or who comes near him, hence his reaction towards everyone here except for Gasper. But I'm a guy, Kiba protested. Did you forget that you were part of the plan that led to him being pierced by light spears 4 times? He hates you too. He will need medication to calm himself and manage his health now. You promised to be his brother, and look where that got him. If I could leave the sacred gear, I would have made you suffer. Even the past hosts of the boosted gear have great anger directed towards you. Silence fell for 5 minutes. I thought we lost him forever after we were told he fell off the cliff, Aquino said softly. But you did lose me forever, Issei's voice broke through the silence. Now awake, Issei sat up and looked at everyone with an emotionless expression, tears still falling. His stoic demeanor contrasted sharply with Kaniko's blank expression. Issei, please, No, we beg you for your forgiveness. I hurt you, so please let me make it up to you, Rias pleaded, her voice filled with desperation. Issei looked at her with a soulless gaze and replied, Rias, you didn't hurt me. Killed me. I'm so sorry, Rias said, her voice trembling. Tell me something, you four. Was it all a lie? Issei asked, his voice hollow. What do you mean? Kaniko questioned. All of it. Training, hanging out, sharing our personal secrets, all the battles we fought together, living together. Falling in love. Was it all just a plot to use me? To use Asia? If that's the case, then I don't want to be part of your peerage anymore. With that, Issei spread his wings and ripped them out without hesitation, not flinching at the pain. Asia, Aquino, and Irina gasped, their eyes wide in horror. Rias, Kiba, Gasper, Rosweiss, and Ravel looked on in shock as the sound of leathery wings being torn away sent chills down their spines. Issei held his wings, looking at them with a mix of pain and resolve. I don't want to be a devil anymore. I'm leaving the ORC. I'm done. Asia immediately took his wings and used her healing powers, but Issei was bleeding profusely from his reckless act. Asia, I told you. I don't want to be a devil anymore, he insisted, trying to remove his wings again, but she and Irina stopped him. Sit. Please don't do that again, Zenobia said, trembling. Rias broke down, and the others joined her, hugging him tightly. They could feel him shaking, but he remained empty inside. Answer my question, was it all a lie? Issei pressed. No, Issei. It was all real. You're my brother. You saved me from being consumed by revenge, Kiba declared. You helped me out of kindness, but we were never there for you. We're sorry, Kaniko added. All of our time together wasn't a plot to control you. We really do love you, Aquino said earnestly. Issei remained silent. Issei, I know what I did was wrong, but I promise you that every moment we spent together was the best in our lives. You gave your arm for me to defeat Riser. You saved us all. Please let me make it right since I was the one who dragged the others into my foolish plan, Rias said, burying her face in his chest as she cried. We want our Issei back, she sobbed. That's right. We didn't think about what you went through, Zenobia chimed in. And we blamed you for not confessing your feelings without considering yours, Irina added. Rias attempted to lighten the mood. We miss the happy person we know. That's just it. You won't get the old me ever again because, like I said, you killed me. I'm gone, Issei replied, his voice heavy with sorrow. What? Asia gasped. It was my perversion that got me into this mess in the first place. If I hadn't been so naive, I would have questioned who Rainier really was when she appeared out of nowhere. I would have been more alert and not ended up getting hurt. I'm sorry, but the old me is long gone. Rias whispered, No, no, no. Just then, a magical circle appeared next to their ears, announcing the start of the rating games and the upcoming matches. Guys. Rias began. Issei was given a day off from school, a gesture of kindness from his teacher. She wanted to help him, and her sincerity was evident in her smile. I need to be alone for a while. Please. Issei requested quietly. Respecting his wishes, everyone began to leave, but Irina and Asia remained behind. You two can go if you want, Issei insisted. I'll be fine. Asia shook her head. We're not leaving. You might hurt yourself again. Irina added, I failed you yesterday, and I won't let that happen again. Consider me your guardian angel. Issei chuckled softly. A devil having a guardian angel. How interesting. Suddenly, Irina jumped toward him, her wings, now more black than white, enveloping both him and Asia. The sensation of the soft feathers was comforting, but the dark color felt wrong and unnatural. Guilt washed over Issei as he realized how much Irina cared for him. He didn't want her to bear the weight of his struggles alone. Remembering how Irina hadn't blamed him for his inability to confess to Rias, he felt a sense of relief. He wouldn't blame her or Asia, they were all just trying to navigate their complicated lives. Thank you, Asia, Irina. I'll try to make things go back to normal for all of us, Issei said earnestly. Irina, don't blame yourself. I don't blame you at all. Please stay the pure angel we know and love. Black wings don't suit you. Irina smiled softly. Only if you stay the same old Issei we know and love. Issei shook his head. Irina, we both know it's too late for that. I won't go back to being a perv. I'm done with that. Thank you for defending me yesterday. You both were there for me and I appreciate it. I'm sorry for lashing out. As he spoke, Irina's black feathers transformed back to white. Hearing his words lifted the guilt she felt, and they remained in a comforting embrace until the school day ended. Though Issei still trembled at times, he didn't push them away. He didn't want to cause them any more pain. A month passed, and Issei had distanced himself from Rias, Aquino, Kaneko, and Kiba, interacting with them only when necessary. However, he found solace in the company of the other members of the Occult Research Club, especially Irina. His friends had vague memories of the previous month but felt the emotions deeply. They no longer teased him about girls but chose to support him instead. At night, Asia would cuddle with him to ensure he didn't feel alone. On nights when she had other responsibilities, Dreig would keep him company. Issei had started taking medication to help manage his anxiety and depression, setting alarms to remind him to take his pills. Unfortunately, some alarms went off during class, but he didn't care about the curious glances from others. His struggles with high blood pressure often left him trembling, especially when approached by women, a reminder of his past trauma. The visible signs of his distress were apparent: dark circles under his eyes, pale skin, and a noticeable weight loss. He was silent, barely speaking when forced to interact. The students at Kyoto Academy noticed the three friends sitting together, completely ignoring the girls around them, and they wondered what had caused such a change. One day, Aika, known for her boldness, approached them. Hey, what's up, pervs? Oh hey, Aika, Issei replied, surprising her with his response. Normally, he would have brushed her off. I'm good. You okay? You seem a little down, she observed. Matsuda interjected, Aika, can we talk alone for a moment? They stepped aside, and Matsuda explained, Issei doesn't talk about it much, but his heart has been shattered, and he's been depressed. Aika nodded, understanding. That makes sense. He's usually with Rias and Aquino, but now he's keeping his distance from them, too. Exactly, Matsuda confirmed. He talks to the other members, but mostly just to Asia and Irina. He tends to space out. Aika noticed the change in Issei's demeanor. Yeah, I've seen it. His eyes seem empty and he looks skinnier and pale. We're really worried about him, Matsuda admitted. Aika smiled softly. You two really are friends, not just pervs. Of course, Matsuda replied. Issei's our friend, and we won't abandon him. I even let my dog be his support animal. Aika raised an eyebrow. Wow, there's more to you guys than meets the eye. So, what's the favor? Just keep it discreet and help prevent rumors from spreading, Matsuda requested. Sure, I can handle that. But why did he start shaking when I came over? Aika asked. He's afraid of most women, except for a few, like Zenobia, Irina, Ravel, Asia, and our teacher, Matsuda explained. He can hardly maintain eye contact with anyone else. Aika nodded, understanding the situation better now. Wow. Matsuda turned to Aika, expressing gratitude. If he needs anything, just let me know. We may not look like it, but we are friends. So just tell me, okay? Aika smiled. You know, you guys are pretty cool when you're not peeping and looking after one another. We'll see you later. Matsuda nodded. Right. Take care. As Matsuda walked back to Motohama and Issei, he noticed that over time, Issei began to return to his normal self. He started talking more with the others and opening up, even engaging in conversations with Rias, Akino, Kiba, and Kaneko, though not excessively. Irina often stayed with Issei, and witnessing his recovery helped alleviate her guilt, which had nearly caused her to falter. Her wings were mostly white again, with just a few black feathers scattered throughout. Issei felt happier knowing that they all genuinely cared about him. There was even a moment when Rias and Akino playfully invited him to join them. Hey Issei, care to join us? Rias called out, her tone teasing. Issei looked them in the eyes and firmly refused, not once glancing at their bodies. When they asked him why, he replied, Rias. Akino. I don't feel that way, so just stop it. Their faces showed pure disbelief. Do you not love us anymore? Akino asked, her voice tinged with concern. I don't know, honestly. But I'm not driven by lust anymore. I need time to get over what happened, Issei said, leaving the ORC room. Both Rias and Akino watched as the new Issei walked away, noting how he had transformed from a pervert into a gentleman. He's become more of a man than we ever thought possible, Akino remarked. Yeah. I do miss his touch, though, Rias admitted. We can only give him the space he needs, Rias. We put him through too much, Akino replied. I miss him. Sometimes I can't even sense his presence, even when he's right in front of us, Rias said, her voice heavy with emotion. I noticed too. He doesn't even know if he loves us anymore, Akino added. Rias sighed. I'm honestly starting to wish that I could pray. Both of them broke down once again, feeling the weight of their emotions. Back to the present. The rating game was set to start in a month's time. Team Rias and Irina were training with Team Citri. Issei and Saji decided to train far off in the mountains, as they wielded dragon-type sacred gears. They were evenly matched at first, but Saji soon gained the upper hand. Give up, Issei. You can't win this match. I've trained and had a few upgrades, Saji taunted. But can it compare to this? Balance break. Issei declared. Draig, Welsh dragon balance breaker. Now clad in his draconic armor, Issei launched a powerful punch towards Saji, who managed to dodge his attacks. Not bad, Issei acknowledged. Yeah, Azazel gave me an upgrade at the Grigori, Saji replied. Have known. Well then, try this. Promotion tonight. Issei's armor became slimmer, and his speed increased, making it difficult for Saji to evade. Issei tackled him into a tree, but Saji seized the opportunity to attach an absorption line from his sacred gear. Oh, Issei muttered. Fast physically, but not mentally, Saji said, beginning to absorb Issei's power, similar to Valle when he used Divine Dividing. Issei's power dwindled until his balance breaker fell apart, but something felt off. Drake, Sayi, cut the line now. What? Saji exclaimed. Suddenly, Issei sprang up and punched Saji, severing the line. What the hell, Issei? Saji asked, bewildered. He looked at Issei and saw a white mist manifesting in the air, solidifying into a mask with red lines resembling the cuts on Issei's face. Issei? Saji questioned. Issei opened his eyes, now glowing with a fiery yellow and red. He summoned Ascalon and attacked Saji, who dodged and flared his aura in Morse code. SOS Sona felt it. Why did you stop? Rias asked. Get to Saji and Issei now. Sona shouted. Everyone stopped training and rushed to the scene, finding Issei attacking Saji with bloodlust. Issei, stop. Rias cried out. Issei turned to her, sprinting towards her with the intent to strike. Rias barely dodged, her heart racing as she had an opening to attack but couldn't bring herself to do it. Issei recovered, preparing to slash at her throat. Fearing for his safety, Saji sent another absorption line to restrain him. It worked just long enough for Kaneko and Rosweiss to pin him to the ground, while Sona used her magic to bind him. Irina, Zenobia, and Kiba readied their swords, just in case. They looked at him, seeing the mask covering half his face and his eyes. The mask, take it off him, Saji urged. Zenobia reached out to touch it, but it wouldn't budge. Issei let out a screech that combined his voice with something that sent chills down everyone's spines. Rias shot a small ball of destruction, cracking the mask until it shattered and evaporated into nothing. Issei came to his senses, returning to normal, his skin color no longer the pale white it had been. Guys, why am I pinned to the ground, and why are you three pointing your swords at me? Issei asked, confused. You don't remember? Ravel replied. I remember training with Saji, and then I blacked out after he absorbed my power. What happened? Issei asked. They released him. You really don't remember anything? Rias asked. Nope, Issei answered. Not even trying to. Kill Lady Rias? Kiba added. Did. What? Don't joke about that, Kiba, Issei said, alarmed. I'm not. You're still holding Ascalon, Kiba pointed out. Issei looked at his hand, realizing he still had Ascalon. When did I? What is happening to me? Sona suggested, we should contact Azazel before it's too late. That includes your brother, Surzex. Yes. Everyone cancel training for today. Issei, come on, Rias instructed. Right? Issei replied. Later, Issei found himself at the Grigori, surrounded by his teammates. Sorry, kid, I can't find anything wrong with you. I have no idea what happened, and there's no evidence that anything ever occurred, Azazel said. He nearly cut me down, Azazel, Rias said, her voice filled with sorrow. I'm sorry, Rias, Issei said, though his apology felt only half genuine, almost cold. What the hell happened between you and her? Azazel pressed. Can we please not talk about it? Issei replied. Issei, if you won't tell him, then we will. We can trust him, Asia said. All right, I'll tell you, Issei finally relented. He recounted everything that had happened, from the drama in the clubroom to his reaction, depression, and lack of longing. Azazel listened quietly, though his blood was boiling. That explains the shockwaves off the coast of Japan and the new craters on the moon, but the mask appearing makes no sense, Azazel concluded. Issei thought back, trying to recall if something else had happened. As he delved into his memories, he remembered the moment he heard her say that she had let him die just to use him. Tears formed in his eyes, and he began to shake. The girls quickly held his hands, and surprisingly, it calmed him down. He managed to focus on his memories and recalled something. I remember being attacked after I woke up the next day, Issei said, his voice shaky. I was near some trees and bushes when I heard a twig snap. I thought it was just a small animal like a wild cat or a rabbit, so I didn't pay it much attention. But then my instincts kicked in, just before something bit me. Irina looked at him, concerned. What was it? It was similar to a skinwalker I read about, but weaker. It was ash gray with horns, and its head looked like a skull. There was a hole in its chest. After it bit me, it just turned to dust. Azazel appeared stoic, but inside he was panicking. Issei, he said, his tone serious. That thing that bit you was a Vasto Lord. Asia's eyes widened. What? Azazel explained, it's a hollow, the strongest of its kind. Irina frowned. A hollow? A hollow is a monstrous, soul-eating spirit that forms when a deceased soul is consumed by negative emotions or forcibly converted by other hollows. They have masks attached to their faces and a hollow hole somewhere on their bodies. They tend to attack those who were close to them in life, even though they have no recollection of it. They become hollows when their emotions consume them. The hole represents their missing heart, and the mask shows their identity. He continued, there are plain hollows of all shapes and sizes, most with unique abilities. Those are the low-class Minos. Jillions are hundreds of Minos that eat each other to become one single hollow, known as Minos Grande. Azazel pulled out some images from a file. This is a Minos Grande. They travel in packs to increase their chances of survival because they are surprisingly weak. Next are the Ajuhuas, which are stronger, faster, and more intelligent. They can even speak. But the deadliest of all is the Vasto Lord, although they are very rare. When an Ajuhuas becomes a Vasto Lord, it becomes smaller, about the size of an average human, and gains a human-like body, but their abilities are terrifying, close to an ultimate-class devil. There are also Ajuhuas that have had their masks removed. They gain Soul Reaper powers. All hollows have a primary attack called a Siro, a powerful beam of energy that can destroy continents, and even the weakest hollows possess that strength. Issei's eyes widened. Then how am I not dead? It could have killed me that day, I didn't even sense it at first. That's just it, Azazel replied. It is nothing but rage and fighting instincts. There is no presence to sense, even when it stands right in front of you. Most hollows have one common attack, a Siro. Irina asked, a Siro? It's an energy-based attack, like Issei's Dragon Shot or Welsh Bishop Blaster. One shot, if powerful enough, can cause massive destruction, especially if it's a continuous beam. Then why did it disintegrate after it bit me? Issei wondered. They need to feed on other hollows to maintain their power, but since there are not enough hollows in the human world, it grew too weak. Irina frowned again. Wait, if human souls turn into them, then why are there so few hollows? The Soul Reapers handle them. It's their job to help lost souls pass over. How one Vasto Lord ended up in the human world must be a fluke. They usually exist in a different dimension once the Soul Reapers guide them, so maybe this one went undetected. Issei asked, so why did that mask appear? My guess is that when it bit you, it tried to consume you since you have Draeg in you, but in that state, you temporarily became a hollow. The three of them gasped in shock. That would explain why we couldn't find anything, Azazel continued. There's no presence, thus no way to trace it. Issei's face paled again, drawing their attention. Now I'm really afraid. We're right here, Issei, Irina reassured him. But what if it happens again and I try to hurt you? He asked, fear evident in his voice. You won't, Asia said firmly. We know it. Not what happened to Rias, according to you guys, Issei replied. Azazel interjected. About that, you skipped Saji and attacked her while ignoring the others. Do you still hate her? Issei hesitated. For what she put Asia through. Yes, a part of me still does. Rias felt regret and anguish wash over her. Azazel said, I'm glad you were stopped. That would have made you a stray and public enemy number one. Issei asked, is there a way to control it? I don't know, Azazel admitted. But here, take this armband. It'll alert me if it happens again. Maybe try going to Kyoto. The sage users there can help balance your emotions. But before that, you need to talk to them and accept the changes and the sudden revelation. You won't be able to control it if you can't control yourself. It might consume you entirely. Azazel attached the armband right where Issei had been bitten. Thanks, we can always count on you, Issei said gratefully. Happy to help. Now don't you all have a raiding game to prepare for? You don't have long, you know. Right? Thanks again, Issei replied, and they all left. Be safe, Issei. This will be hard for not just you, but for those around you, Azazel called after him. They all went to Issei's home. He started walking straight to his room but was stopped by Akino. "Issei, are you okay?" she asked gently. "Yeah." "Why do you ask?" Issei replied. "Because we are worried about you," Akino said. "Oh." Issei continued to walk to his room, and everyone stared in silence. Too much has happened to him too soon. "I'll go talk to him," Rosweiss said. "I think I should," Rias interjected. "Let Rosweiss try. None of us managed to do much, so maybe she can." She, Irina, and Ravel are the only ones who didn't blame him that day, and it's not fair to make Ravel fix our problems, Zenobia suggested. "Okay, fine," Rias relented. Rosweiss went up to Issei's room and knocked. "Come in," Issei said in a low, empty voice. Rosweiss opened the door and saw him sitting in the dark, with only a little light filtering through the curtains illuminating the room. "Is there something you need?" Issei asked. "We need the old you," Rosweiss said softly. "That's not possible, I'm afraid," Issei replied. "Look, I'm sure that," she began, but her words trailed off, realizing the weight of the situation. "Can I turn on the lights?" Rosweiss asked. "Sure," Issei replied. As she turned on the light, she saw Issei sitting on the floor, hugging his knees, looking as depressed as ever. "You're still upset about what happened, aren't you?" Rosweiss inquired gently. Issei chuckled softly. "What gave me away?" Rosweiss realized that typical encouragement wouldn't work on him. "Issei, think about the others. Don't you want to be a HRM king?" "Forget being the HRM king," Issei said, his tone serious. Suddenly, the door burst open, and several friends shouted in unison, "What?" Irina exclaimed, "You don't want it, Jim? That's your dream, Issei." Rias added. "Not anymore," Issei replied, shaking his head. "I came to a realization, Rias. I was naive. I let my desires consume me for too long." "But Issei, we all want to be part of your HRM," Asia said, looking hopeful. Issei turned to her, his expression somber. "I'm sorry, Asia, but I won't do that to you. To any of you." "What do you mean?" Akino asked, confused. "Think about it," Issei explained. "I wanted a HRM to fulfill my desires, but that would mean using all of you. I don't want to be like Diodora or Riser." "You're nothing like them," Kaneko reassured him. "Thanks, Kaneko. And now that I have no desires at all, I won't be," Issei said, his voice heavy with emotion. "Irina, please, this isn't you. What about the kids who love the Grab-in Dragon?" she pleaded. Issei's eyes widened in realization, and he punched a hole in the wall. "Those kids, what have I done?" "Issei, please calm down," Ravel urged. "How can I? I exposed them to my perverted nature and probably turned them into the person I used to be." Issei shouted, hitting the wall again. His friends gathered around him, offering comfort as he sobbed. "What have I done? What have I done?" "It's okay, Issei. It's okay," Kiba said softly. "No, it's not. I've turned them into someone like me," Issei cried out. Feeling even more broken, he realized the impact of his past actions on those around him. "Should we go to Kyoto and look for help?" Ravel suggested. "Not yet. Please, let's just stay like this for a little while." "I'm not ready," Issei replied, his voice trembling. Rias felt a mix of relief and confusion, glad that Issei wanted them close but unsure of how to help him. "Guys, don't tell anyone about what Azazel told us, okay?" Issei requested. "We promise," Gasper replied. A week passed, and Issei remained quiet, often spacing out but still managing to sit with his friends, do his duties as a devil and train, though not as intensely as before. One day, his two guy friends visited him, and Issei offered them magazines and DVDs he had related to adult content. They hesitated at first but eventually accepted after Issei insisted. They promised to keep them safe for him. As time went on, Issei and his friends were no longer seen as the perverted trio. They were more accepted at school, their grades improved, and they enjoyed their time together more. Whenever the girls appeared, Issei would look them in the eye, no longer focusing on their bodies. This change was noticeable to everyone, even Aika, who stopped teasing them but would often see the ORC members watching Issei from a distance. "Oh, how the tables have turned," Aika remarked. With 3 weeks left until the rating game, Issei remembered his promise to Sarorg. He would give him the fight of his life and change how people perceived him. He was no longer the grab-in dragon. Draig, Issei called. Yes, Issei? Draig responded. I'm sorry for what you went through because of me, Issei said, his voice filled with regret. It's okay, partner. It's nothing compared to what you experienced, Draig reassured him. Issei paused, contemplating. I've been thinking about that dress break. What if, instead of tearing clothes, I could rip out my opponent's magic or energy? Interesting. Perhaps you could undo certain spells after they've been cast, Draig suggested. I better start practicing, Issei said, determination creeping back into his voice. Issei, we both know that in your current state, there's no point. You need to be the determined Issei we all know and love. If you're worried about becoming hollow, then go to Kyoto, but clear your mind and heart. You need to talk to the 4 of them, Draig advised. I suppose it was inevitable, but how do I tell her that I'm not in love with her anymore? Issei wondered aloud. I hate people who lie to themselves, so just stop it, Draig replied firmly. Huh. Issei was taken aback. She's in love with you, and you are in love with her. We both know that, Draig stated. That's not true, Draig. I'm not in love with her anymore, Issei insisted. Wait, you're serious? Draig asked, surprised. Yes, Issei confirmed. So the reason you're still somewhat ignoring her is because of this? Draig inquired. Issei nodded. Then it's best to let her down gently and tell her in private, Draig advised. Issei sent a message to the 4 of them, asking to meet somewhere private. They responded quickly, choosing the park at midnight. When midnight arrived, Issei greeted them. Thanks for coming, everyone. We're happy that you want to talk to us again, Kiba said. You only talked to us when you had to, Akino added. It worried us all, Kaneko chimed in. Then you guys do care, Issei said, smiling genuinely for the first time in a while. It's good to see your smile again, Rias said warmly. Thanks. Listen, I want things to go back to normal, Issei began. That's what we want too, Kiba agreed. But there will be some changes. I think we are better off as friends and teammates, but nothing more, Issei stated, causing surprise among his friends. Sit. What are you saying? Rias asked, her voice trembling. You know exactly what I mean, Rias. No more physically NTMT relationships, no falling in love, none of that, Issei clarified. Akino, are you breaking up with us? She asked, tears forming in her eyes. Yes, Akino, I am, Issei replied, his voice steady. But why? Kaneko asked, confused. You all know why. I won't show favoritism and make the others feel less about themselves. How many times have fights broken out and led to destruction? And Kiba, I'll continue to train with you, Issei promised. I'll continue being your pawn and help you win the rating game, continue being a figure in the underworld, but the Grabbin Dragon is no more, Issei declared. Akino's eyes glistened with tears. There's no way to persuade you, is there? No, I'm sorry. My antics have gone on for far too long. Even Draig, a heavenly dragon, was affected by my actions. I need to rectify this, Issei said, his tone final. Silence hung in the air for a moment. Guys, I need to talk to Issei alone. Please give us a minute, Rias said, breaking the silence. Sure, Kaneko replied for the group, and they left, leaving Issei and Rias alone. Issei. Rias started, her voice soft. You know that I'm in love with you, and so are the other girls. I know you feel the same way, so why? Issei sighed, recalling the reasons he had shared before. It's the same reasons I told you earlier. One tiny mistake led to everything unraveling. You let Asia and me die, and it was painful. How can I be in love with someone who allowed that to happen? Rias's voice trembled. I know you hate me for that, and I hate myself too, but what did you mean by I was the love of your life? Rias, Issei said softly, I'm not in love with you anymore. Rias's heart shattered at his words. No, please don't say that. She embraced him tightly, but Issei gently pulled away. I'm not lying, Rias. I can't risk loving again. Why not? She asked, desperation in her voice. Rainier manipulated my emotions, used me, and then killed me. You showed up right after and turned me into your pawn, to be used again and again. I didn't have time or support to heal from what Rainier did, and just when I started to fall for you, everything fell apart. But Rias stammered. Tell me, Rias, Issei continued, if you were in my place, would you have loved me if I had done the same to you? Would you have fallen for me if I couldn't save you from Riser? Rias paused, her voice barely a whisper. No. Yeah, I figured. I'm sorry, Rias, but our relationship is strictly platonic and professional from now on. Tears streamed down Rias's face as she held nothing back. I'm so sorry. My selfishness pushed you over the edge and I didn't even know you were on it. Please forgive me. Issei's eyes were red from holding back tears as he embraced her, and they both cried until the sun began to rise. They remained in each other's embrace, silent, until the light of dawn illuminated their tear-stained faces. We stayed here all night, Rias said softly. Yeah, Issei replied. I thought about what you said. I can't blame you for not wanting to be with me or the others. Asia is like a little sister to me. Irina is my childhood friend, Ravel is a good friend and ally, and Zenobia just wants kids. It's not love between us. She'll find someone to love and have a happy family. Akinoyu, Kaneko, and Rosweiss don't see me that way, and I'm okay with that. Why do you want none of them? Rias asked, confusion in her eyes. I don't want to be selfish, Rias. How could I deprive them of their right partners when I hardly think I'm worthy of being with any of you? Rias shook her head. You're more than worthy for me. I'm too damaged for that, Rias. I'm not that guy anymore. I remember when I used the Juggernaut drive. You tried to help and I swatted you away. I thought I hurt you. Rias looked him in the eyes, a fresh tear falling down her cheek. She wiped it away. But I wasn't hurt. But I won't risk it. If my inner hollow takes over. It's okay. We'll be there for you just like you have been for us. Thanks, Rias. Issei, I have a two-part final request. Sure. Anything. First, please just call me by my name, regardless of the circumstances. Done. And the second. One final kiss? Issei was taken aback. Even after what I said. Just, let's kiss one last time and pour our hearts into it until there's nothing left. He looked into her eyes, then at her lips. Okay, Rias. I accept. Thank you. They locked eyes and inched closer. When they kissed, they closed their eyes, pouring all their love into that final moment. Once the kiss broke, their love life ended. After what felt like an eternity, they pulled away. Rias looked at the reflection of the sun in his eyes. So, see you at school after the weekend? Yeah. I'll see you guys there. As Rias walked away, Drake spoke up. Are you okay, partner? Yeah. If I may ask, why not stay with at least one of them? No favoritism, it'll just cause more trouble. But you found love, Isay. Was it wise to let it go? Finding love where it shouldn't be isn't love meant to last. I don't care if I'm the villain, at least they won't hate each other. Drake was silent for a moment. I never thought you would be willing to go that far. I feel clearer in mind and heart now. Go rest, Isay. You earned it. Rias returned home to find the others who had stayed up all night waiting for her. They all looked at her with one question in their minds. What happened? Kiba started the explanation, and Rias slowly continued from where he left off. After she finished telling them everything, Rosweiss spoke up. He really has changed. Ravel added, at least he's still with us as our comrade and friend. Asia looked down. So he's no longer in love. With any of us. Gasper sighed. I miss the old him. Aquino nodded. As do we, but it's because of some of us that he's changed so much so soon. Rias reflected, the one man who loved us unconditionally didn't care if we were a fallen, a devil, a phoenix, an angel, or anything. He used to love us for who we are. He still does, but not in the same way. Irina frowned. Can you blame him? We weren't exactly supportive when he was afraid to confess. Zenobia added, now that Issei mentioned it, he's right. I wasn't in love with him. The whole Kokabeel incident, I tried to have my way with him just to have strong kids. I didn't love him like the rest of you did. I'm a horrible friend. Gasper asked, so where is he now? Rias shook her head. No idea. He sat on the bench even after I left. Kaneko suggested, shouldn't we look for him? Kiba replied, no need. He needs his space. Let's respect that. Yeah, Rias agreed. Let's just rest for today and start training tomorrow. The raiding game is coming up, Issei suggested. The others nodded in agreement. After sitting on the bench all night, Issei decided to go for a walk. As he strolled through the park, he felt a sense of peace wash over him. Eventually, he found himself at the very spot where everything had begun, the park where Rainier had taken his life and where Rias had brought him back. Drake's voice echoed in his mind, what are you thinking, Issei? Everything. Issei replied, lost in thought. Do you feel sorry for them or for yourself? Drake asked. No. I'm not sorry for what I did, I'm just sorry that I had to do it, Issei admitted. You've been up all night. You should get some sleep, you need to train soon, Drake urged. I'll find a hotel for the day. I want to leave the others alone for a while, Issei decided. Wise choice. Honestly, I think you've grown a lot in the past 2 months and handled everything as well as anyone could, given the circumstances, Drake encouraged. Yeah. Me too. No more pervert stuff, people like me more because of it. I have good friends who stood by me when I was down, and that includes you, Drake. Thank you. What are partners for? Drake replied. Issei smiled, booked a hotel room for the day, and finally rested without nightmares. By the end of the day, he woke up, paid, and returned home. As soon as he walked in, his parents greeted him. Welcome home, Mickey said. Glad to be back, Issei replied. Where have you been? The girls are all upset, Goru inquired. I decided that my relationships with them should be platonic, Issei explained. Wait, what? I thought you loved them, Mickey said, surprised. I do love them, but not in the way you think, Issei clarified. What about Rias? Goru asked. I'm not in love with her anymore, Issei confessed. Both parents were taken aback. What? They exclaimed in unison. Yeah. I'm done with love, relationships, everything. I even got rid of all that stuff in my room, Issei stated. Mickey looked conflicted. I don't know if I should be worried or proud, Issei. What will happen to the girls living here? No need to worry, we are still a family in a way. Just don't expect any grandkids from me. Sorry, Issei reassured them. Sit. We love those girls as our own, but you're our son. Tell us what happened, Goru urged. Long story short, I'm not compatible with any of them as a lover. Asia is like a little sister, Irina is my childhood friend, and with the others. It just didn't work out. I don't want to hurt them, Issei explained. Mickey hugged Issei tightly. I know there's more to it, but do tell us when you're ready to talk, okay? Issei returned the hug. I promise when the time is right, I'll tell you both everything. They broke the embrace and Issei added, there's something you should know. I have to go to Kyoto again, my sensei needs my help. How long will you be gone? Goru asked. About 3 weeks, Issei replied. That long? Mickey questioned. Relax, Mom, it's just work, kind of like an internship, Issei reassured her. I hope you don't get involved with anything bad, Goru said. I'll be fine. There are a lot of kind people there, and it's appealing, Issei assured them. Who's going with you? Mickey asked. Besides my sensei, I'm not sure yet, Issei answered. Well, call us and let us know if you want to talk or need anything, okay? Mickey said. Sure, Mum, Issei replied. Dinner will be ready soon, Goru announced. Issei nodded and went to his room. After taking a shower and changing his clothes, he started packing. Once he finished, he called Azazel. I assume you're ready to train in Kyoto? Azazel asked. Yeah, when do we leave? Issei inquired. Tomorrow if possible, Azazel replied. I already packed, Issei said. After ending the call, Issei exited his room and bumped into Rosweiss. Issei, you're back? She asked. Yeah, but I'm leaving for Kyoto tomorrow with Azazel, Issei explained. I'm going with you, Rosweiss declared. Suit yourself, Issei replied. We should tell the others, she suggested. I'll tell them. Come on, they're waiting, Issei said as they headed to dinner. As they sat down, a tense silence filled the room. Issei broke it by saying, Guys, I'm going to Kyoto with Azazel tomorrow, and Rias is coming along. Rias chimed in, Akino and I can come with if you want. Thanks, but you two need to prepare for graduation. It's a big day for you, Issei reminded them. Oh right, I almost forgot, Rias said. After helping with the dishes, Issei went to bed, still feeling sleepy despite having rested most of the day. The others noticed the dark circles under his eyes but understood the reason behind them. The next day, Issei said farewell to everyone and secretly teleported to Kyoto with Rias. Azazel was already there waiting for them. I'm glad Rias came along, it's good to have someone we can trust. You ready, Issei? Azazel asked. As ready as I'll ever be. Let's do this, Issei replied. They walked to the shrine and were greeted by Yasaka. Welcome, Red Dragon Emperor, Governor General, and Lady Valkyrie, Yasaka said. Thank you for having us, Lady Yasaka, Issei responded, bowing in respect. Yasaka, in tune with the natural energy of the earth, sensed something different about Issei. He had changed significantly in a short time. Azazel told me about the hollow that bit you. You wish to control it, don't you? Yasaka asked. I do. I won't let it take control and hurt my loved ones, Issei affirmed. Well, you've come to the perfect place. One of our own was born with hollow powers and stred them, Yasaka explained. Born with hollow powers? That's a first, Azazel remarked. Come, it's best to meet her yourself, Yasaka said. Issei felt a surge of fear but pushed through it, determined not to let it control him. They followed Yasaka deep into their territory until they stopped in front of a small house. We are here, Yasaka announced, knocking on the door. The door opened moments later, revealing an appealing woman whose beauty surpassed even Rias and Akino combined. Oh my, Azazel exclaimed, a blush creeping onto his cheeks, while Issei remained composed. Everyone meet Ari. She's the one whom stred her hollow powers all on her own, Yasaka introduced. You are too kind, Lady Yasaka, Ari replied. Ari, this is Issei Hyudo, the Red Dragon Emperor, accompanied by the Governor General of the Fallen Angels and Rias the Valkyrie, Yasaka continued. It's an honor to meet you all, Ari said, and the three bowed in response. The honor is ours, they replied. So how may I help you? Ari asked. Issei was bitten by a hollow, and his mask has already appeared once. We need him to learn to control it to avoid letting the inner hollow take over, Azazel explained. I can help, but I need to know a few things, Ari said. Issei had been bitten a little over a month ago, and the revelation of the type of hollow he encountered shocked everyone. Ari's eyes widened, and her 9 snow-white tails stiffened as she asked how he was still alive after facing a Vasto. Lord. Issei explained that the creature had turned to dust after biting him, which Ari took as a good sign. Rias, curious, asked for clarification. Ari explained that the Vasto Lord must have been weak, transferring its energy to Issei. However, as time passed, that energy would grow stronger, and if Issei lost control, he could become a Vasto Lord himself, commanding the powerful boosted gear. Azazel added that Issei's power would become limitless and unstoppable, leaving everyone concerned about the potential consequences. Determined, Issei asked when they would start training. Ari responded that they would begin right away, emphasizing the importance of the task ahead. Issei inquired if it was possible to learn control within 3 weeks, to which Ari expressed hope, knowing he had a raiding game to prepare for. Azazel requested Ari to demonstrate what controlled hollow powers looked like. With a flourish, Ari transformed, showcasing her abilities. Issei noted that he couldn't sense her power, despite knowing she was stronger in that form. Ari explained that it was one of the tricks one learns over time. Yasaka entrusted Issei's training to Ari, ensuring that one of his companions would be nearby for support. Grateful, Issei thanked Ari, who insisted he simply call her by her name. She led him to an underground training space, but once the door closed, her demeanor shifted to seriousness. Yasaka expressed her concern about the Vasto Lord, prompting Azazel to assure her that they were there to help. Curious about how a vasto lord appeared in the human world, Yasaka pressed for answers. Azazel suggested they discuss it over tea, while Rosweiss opted to stay behind. He assured her they wouldn't be far and instructed her to call if she needed assistance. As the training began, Ari explained the first steps to Issei. She emphasized that he could only MSTR the power to its current level, and once the hollow within him reached its prime, he would have to find a way to MSTR that on his own. Issei was taken aback, realizing the gravity of his situation. Ari clarified that while she was born with hollow powers, Issei had been bitten by the strongest of them all. Issei asked about his current level of power, and Ari informed him that the appearance of a mask indicated he was at a lower class Minos, but he still needed to gain control. When he expressed concern about controlling a creature fueled by hate and bloodlust, Ari reassured him that not all hollows were purely destructive, many retained aspects of their memories and personalities. She explained that the hollow powers were now a part of him, making them two sides of the same coin. Drake, Issei's dragon partner, found this perspective interesting, noting that it simplified things. Issei pondered whether he should look within himself or meditate, to which Ari confirmed that meditation was the way to go. She warned that the process could be dangerous, and Rosweiss prepared a strong barrier to protect everyone during Issei's internal struggle. Meanwhile, Azazel and Yasaka discussed the changes they had observed in Issei. Yasaka reflected on how he had once been a strong and optimistic leader but seemed diminished now. Azazel explained that a misunderstanding had revealed a deep truth, leading to Issei's heartbreak before he had fully healed from previous wounds. Yasaka, concerned, questioned how Issei had changed so drastically. Azazel shared the details of Issei's struggles, including the emotional fallout from his relationships with the girls. He noted that Issei had abandoned his dreams of a HRM and was now afraid to form connections. Yasaka inquired about the scars on Issei's face, and Azazel revealed they were not caused by the hollow but by Rias, who had struck him out of emotion. Yasaka was shocked to learn that Issei had nearly harmed Rias during his hollow powers manifestation, and Azazel explained that if not for their friends intervening, the situation could have ended tragically. Yasaka empathized with Issei's pain, realizing he had come to them to avoid causing further harm. Azazel reassured her that Issei had friends and family supporting him, which was one of the reasons he hadn't succumbed to his hollow nature completely. Yasaka felt relieved that he wasn't alone, knowing that his anger and loneliness could have led to devastating consequences. A Vasto Lord combined with the boosted gear would have easily reached the power of a Devil King or greater. Yasaka pondered this terrifying thought as she watched Issei train. Issei sat in silence, delving deep into his subconscious. He wandered through his memories, reliving everything he had experienced and felt. He became lost in recollections of his past life until he stumbled upon the ones he dreaded most: Rainer's betrayal, Rias's revival, and the complex emotions that followed. The weight of those negative feelings rushed back, and soon he was engulfed in darkness. From that darkness emerged a figure, the very same one that had bitten him. It charged at Issei with great speed. He barely managed to dodge it and summoned his boosted gear, but it didn't appear. "Drake, I need your help here." "Drake?" he called out, but there was no response, only the chilling screech of the hollow echoing in his mind. "Looks like I'm on my own." "Come on, you monster," Issei shouted as he engaged in hand-to-hand combat. Outside, Rosweiss and Ari observed the situation unfold. "So that's what happened," Rosweiss said, her voice filled with concern. Ari looked down, sadness washing over her. It's a miracle he hasn't gone full hollow after all that. If he's so afraid of women, how is he here asking for my help? He was shaking even when Lady Yasaka, you, and I were nearby. Thankfully, he knows he has a problem and is trying to overcome it, Rosweiss replied. How is he recovering? On his own, Ari asked. He isn't alone, Rosweiss reassured her. I'm glad he has good friends, Ari said. If we were really good friends, he wouldn't be in this situation, Rosweiss admitted, feeling the weight of her own guilt. Suddenly they heard a growl. They turned to see Issei, the growl emanating from him. A mask began to appear, slowly spreading across his torso, neck, and back. Oh no, Ari gasped. What do we do? Rosweiss asked, panic rising in her voice. Reinforce the barrier. If that fails, we'll need to call for Lady Yasaka and Azazel, Ari instructed. Rosweiss quickly created more barriers and called for them to rush over. They arrived in under a minute, unable to teleport due to anti-teleportation runes in the room. What is happening? Oh no, Azazel exclaimed upon seeing Issei's condition. We should stop him, Yasaka said. Not yet, Issei is still in control to an extent, Ari replied. How can you tell? Rosweiss asked. With his current level, he would have broken the barriers by now and used the boosted gear, Ari explained. So what's happening to Issei? Is this part of the process? Azazel inquired. Yes, he's fighting the hollow within him, Ari confirmed. Inside Issei's subconscious, he was holding his own but struggling against the relentless hollow. It pushed him into a corner until he saw an opening and elbowed it in the face, causing the mask to crack. The hollow paused, revealing what lay behind the mask, a shocking sight. Issei saw his hollow self, who looked back at him with a smile. Oh, are you? Issei asked, bewildered. Isn't it obvious? I'm you, hollow Issei replied. Like hell you are. Shouted, fighting back with renewed rage. That's right, keep fighting. I love it. Hollow Issei laughed. Shut up. Issei yelled. Outside, Issei began to resemble a hollow more with each passing moment. He let out a sound that was a mix of his own voice and the hollow's. His gauntlet appeared. Draig. Azazel called out. I'm trying, Azazel. I can't reach Issei, but I'm doing my best to limit his use of my power. It's becoming too much, Draig responded. We have to stop him, Yasaka urged. We have no choice. Better safe than sorry, Ari said, transforming into her hollow form and entering through a hole Rosweiss made in the barrier, followed by Azazel and Yasaka. Once inside, Issei looked even more terrifying up close. They attempted to restrain him without causing injury, but he was growing stronger. Boost, he shouted. Everyone, stop holding back because he's not. Draig warned. Diamenet. Balance break. Azazel declared, activating his artificial balance breaker. He tackled Issei and slashed him with his golden spear. The wound healed instantly, like a phoenix. High-speed regeneration? He's full of surprises, Ari noted. Let me try. In her transformed state, Ari merged her Siro with Sage Magic. Flame Siro. She launched an attack while Yasaka bound Issei with magic seals. Azazel used gravity magic to keep him from moving, while Rosweiss struggled to maintain the barriers from collapsing. Inside Issei's subconscious, he shouted, Just go away. No can do. I'm a part of you now, hollow Issei replied. I hate you. Issei yelled. Do you hate me or yourself since we're both the same person? Hollow Issei countered. Issei froze, contemplating the truth in those words. Hollow Issei also stopped fighting. Figure it out yet? Well, we can fight again next time. Toodles. Wait, get back here. I want answers. Issei called out, but hollow Issei vanished, leaving him alone. Suddenly, Issei was forced out of his subconscious before he could fully comprehend what had happened. He woke up to find the four of them surrounding him, lying on the ground. Welcome back. How do you feel? Ari asked. I'm somewhat okay, Issei replied, getting up and looking around. What the hell happened here? You nearly turned into a hollow and almost took us down, Yasaka explained. Wait, all four of you? Issei asked, surprised. You grew more powerful every minute, Rosweiss said. And you did so by using Draig's power, who was also trying to stop you from using him, Ari added. So sorry, Issei said, remorse filling his voice. It's okay. We knew the risks, Yasaka reassured him. Take a break for now, then tell me what you experienced, Ari suggested. Why wait? I fought my doppelganger. Well, the hollow inside of me. It looked like me but was more ruthless, bloodthirsty, and downright cryptic. It attacked me, and it was all very confusing, Issei recounted. Yasaka and Azazel listened intently, while Ari encouraged him to rest. Rest for now, We can talk about it after you eat something. You've been in your hollow state for a few hours now, Ari said. Hours? It felt like just a few moments in my subconscious, Issei replied, bewildered. Which is another plane of existence if you ask me, Ari chuckled. Issei returned a small smile. With so many supernatural beings and multiple dimensions, that makes sense. Azazel noticed Issei smile again, relieved to see him more at ease after the turmoil he had just faced. He was proud that Issei was already making progress in more ways than one. Azazel smiled, relieved. Glad you're okay, kiddo. For the whole week, Issei trained, but it was the same result each time. Ari, Rias, Azazel, and Yasaka had to restrain him and break his mask every time he lost control. Issei lay deep in thought. Each time he fought his hollow self, he received the same response. All that you know is all that I know, but the difference is that I'm what you're afraid of the most. Issei pondered, what did he mean by that? Ari approached him, noticing his confusion. Still confused, huh? Oh hey Ari. She smirked. What's going through the mind of the grabbing dragon this time? Please don't call me that. I hate it. Oh, that's right, you hate what you used to be. Who told you? Azazel or Rias? The latter. Right. You are overthinking it. How so? I can't tell you. If I did, then you'll never enter the power within. Yeah. That's fine. Ari watched Issei as he stared off into the distance. She noticed the 3 scars on his cheek and whispered to herself, how did I not notice that he has the same marks as I do? Hey Issei, funny thing, she said. This ought to be good. We have the same marks on our cheeks, and you also have similar marks when your mask appears. Issei touched the scars that Rias had given him, reminding him of everything. He looked troubled, and Ari's ears drooped at her failed attempt to lighten the mood. Looks like I brought up some bad memories. Sorry. Don't be. No one lives a perfect life. This is just a part of mine. Sit. I know you're still hurting inside. But I forgave them. I still care for them and want all of us to be together. But did you forgive yourself? Forgive. Myself? Yes. You made some mistakes in your past. You were extremely perverted, but you're miserable now. You're angry about everything and you hate yourself. Don't you? Issei remained silent. Forgive yourself and accept it. How can I? My perverted nature affected the entire underworld, those poor kids, almost all the women in my team, and many others I mostly thought about adding to my HM. I thought about them as objects to fulfill my own desires. But you still loved them. You saw them as the people they were, not the titles they carry. You were kind to them, and from what I heard, you refused to make a move because you knew it wasn't the right time or place. You're a good man. Don't let the dark consume the light. You deserve love too. Ari gave Issei a quick kiss on the cheek and walked away. Issei placed his hand on his cheek, reflecting on her words. Her kiss was softer than any of the other girls. Forgive myself, huh? Drake's voice interrupted his thoughts. What are you thinking, Issei? Nothing really. It's a whim, but it's something worth trying. Shouldn't we call the others first? No need. I think this might work. Charging in without a plan or backup. There's the partner I know. Issei began to meditate and entered his subconscious. Back so soon? Hollow Issei greeted him. I want to talk. Oh, that's a first. I know what you are now. Most importantly, I know who you are. Do tell. You're me. I've been telling you that all week. You're also the part of me I'm scared of. The anger, the sorrow, the bloodlust, all of it. Now we're getting somewhere. Took quite a while for the obvious to sink in. Issei walked closer. I want to thank you. Wait, what? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have gotten stronger. I wouldn't be alive. Hollow Issei grew irritated. Cut the sentimental stuff before I cut you down. Fight me. No. I'm done fighting. I won't fight myself. It won't get me anywhere in life. Why aren't you attacking me? I nearly killed you every time we fought and took over your body. You mean those who hurt me? Huh. Issei smiled. You were trying to protect me, weren't you? That day when the mask appeared and you tried to slash Rias. Hollow Issei fell silent. I owe you big time, you know. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been able to protect those who are precious to me as much as I did. Enough. Hollow Issei tried to punch Issei, but Issei smiled and hugged his hollow self. Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you, so thank you. Finally figured it out. The hollow's mask started to crack and crumbled away, revealing hollow eyes shedding tears of joy. I'm happy. Happy that you finally accept me. Take my power. No, take our power and show the world not to mess with the Red Dragon Emperor. But know this, you're part of a generation that grows strong quicker than most. You will, without question, get more than you bargained for. Hollow Issei disappeared, leaving Issei alone in his subconscious but with a heart that was now whole once again. Issei exited his subconscious and woke up in the real world, feeling better than ever. He could feel the power his other self had left for him. He knew what he had to do. Issei placed his hand on his face and manifested the mask. It appeared and he felt the power surge through him. Incredible, such power. You have surpassed the armor promotions greatly. Congratulations, Draig remarked. Issei let out a victory roar, startling the others, who rushed over. Oh no. The mask has appeared, Azazel said, concern in his voice. Issei turned around. Hey, everyone. Issei? You did it? Yasaka asked, her eyes wide with excitement. Yes. How? Ari inquired, still puzzled by the transformation. I have you to thank for that. Ari blushed slightly. How did I do that exactly? Issei explained, your advice on forgiving myself and accepting what I am. And? Rosweiss prompted. I am a hollow, the Red Dragon Emperor, a pawn of Rias Gremory, and most importantly, I'm me, and that's what I accept and embrace. They all smiled. Welcome back, Issei, Rosweiss said warmly. Thank you, and Ari. Yeah, she replied, curious. What's the next step of my training? Timing. Let's see how long you can wear that mask. The more you practice, the longer you can use your hollowified state. Let's start right away. Only 2 weeks until the rating game, you know. Let's do this. Both began their training, with Ari hollowifying herself to match Issei. As they trained, Issei thought to himself, so glad she can't see my red face right now. Draig observed, I think she's a better fit for you than the others. Focus, Draig, Issei replied, trying to concentrate. Usually, I'm the one telling you to focus, Draig chuckled. They continued their training, working on extending Issei's time limit and learning to combine Ascalon with his hollow powers, as well as mstring the dragon shot. Issei was cautious about using his balance breaker, remembering the warning from his inner hollow self. He didn't want to push himself too hard, as combining hollow powers with Draig's might be overwhelming. After nearly 2 weeks of training, Issei could wear his mask for at least an hour, and his energy-based attacks had taken on a blackish-red hue. He had also renamed his secondary dragon shot to Zero Shot and the slash wave released from Ascalon to Hollow Dragon Talon. Additionally, he changed his dress break technique to spell break, allowing him to nullify small energy and magic attacks, though physical attacks still posed a challenge. After hitting his limit, Issei took a break. I'll get us something to eat. Be right back, Ari said, heading off. I'll just wait here, Issei replied, catching his breath. Once Ari left the training area, Issei felt guilty for not helping her. He stood up and went to the kitchen, where he heard her singing. Her voice captivated him, and he enjoyed every moment of it. When she finished, he entered the kitchen to help her, despite her insistence that he rest. This may be sudden, but I heard you singing and you have talent. Would it be okay if I could hear you sing again? Issei asked. Ari blushed at the compliment, surprised he had heard her. I don't see why not. Meanwhile, Rosweiss, Azazel, and Yasaka were no longer worried. Rosweiss indulged in a shopping spree, Azazel relaxed in Kyoto, and Yasaka brought Kono back home. In the remaining 2 weeks, Issei and Ari spent quality time together. One night, they stayed up to watch shooting stars. Appealing, Ari remarked, gazing at the sky. Yeah. Hey, if you don't mind me asking, how were you born with hollow powers? Issei inquired. Just before I was born, my mother was bitten by a hollow. The people of my kind stopped it from killing us both. After I was born, my mother was too weak to continue living. All her energy was used up bringing me into the world and keeping herself from turning into a hollow. She resisted until the end, Ari explained. I'm sorry, Issei said softly. No need. It's a fair question. As far as we know, you and I are two of a kind, Ari replied, a hint of blush on her cheeks under the starlight. Will you visit again soon? She asked. I believe I will. After all your help in Lady Yasaka's, I owe you both a great deal, Issei answered. Then, want to go on a date after your rating game? Ari suggested. I would love to. I'm not afraid anymore, Issei admitted. You just said, Copycat, Ari teased. Issei laughed, sly but cute fox. Ari looked stunning in the starlight, and Issei felt a deep connection to her, unlike anything he had experienced before. You were right, we are two of a kind, he said. Two hollows with hearts, Ari echoed, her eyes sparkling. That is the most appealing sentence I've ever heard. Who knew the Red Dragon Emperor was quite the poet? They leaned against each other, enjoying the night. The next morning, Issei, Azazel, and a shopping-laden Rosweiss said their farewells and headed home. Azazel opened the door for Rosweiss, who entered with her bags while Issei brought in the rest. Want to stay for lunch, Azazel? Issei offered. Thanks for the offer, but I've been away from the Grigori for 3 weeks. I have a lot of catching up to do, Azazel replied. Just drop by if you want to take the offer, Issei said. Sure could. Take care, Azazel said before leaving. Issei and Rosweiss went straight to her room to help unpack. Thanks for helping me unpack, Rosweiss said. No problem, Issei replied. So, did a certain cute fox catch your eye? She winked, causing Issei to blush. Not gonna lie. I'm going on a date with her after the rating game, he confessed. Suddenly the others burst in. What? Rias exclaimed. Well, hello to you too, Issei said, slightly annoyed. You're going on a date? Just weeks after breaking up with us? What the hell, Issei? Rias questioned. First of all, I just got back home after 3 weeks, and this is how you greet me? Second, we're done, remember? Whoever I date is my own business. And why do you all randomly burst in through the door? Should I put salt lines under the door now? Issei retorted. Rias realized she hadn't welcomed him home after his long absence. Sorry, she said, turning to leave. Wait, here, Issei said, opening a portal to a pocket dimension and pulling out a few bags. I got some souvenirs for everyone. This one is for you, Rias. You're still collecting animal figurines, right? This little rabbit is the latest edition. Rias held the glass rabbit figurine, her expression softening. Thank you, Issei, and welcome home. Thanks, glad to be back. Alright everyone, grab your stuff. I'm going to check on Mom and Dad, Issei announced. Hey wait, you didn't tell us how your training went. Did you control that power? Irina asked. Issei smirked and manifested the mask, keeping his eyes closed to avoid scaring them, especially after their previous fears. Yeah, it's all under control, Irina, he assured. He made the mask disappear and added, have fun, you guys. Akino, Issei, you didn't call us for 3 whole weeks. Do you still hate us? Akino asked. Honestly, no, not anymore. I did some soul searching and I'm okay now. I'm not lying, Akino, Issei replied. So what now? Gasper asked. Kaneko, Issei will tell us about this new girl, Kaneko said. Not a girl, a woman, Issei corrected, blushing slightly as he placed a hand where she had kissed him. An incredible woman. With that, Issei left to see his parents. Rias felt a pang of hurt as she learned that Issei had quickly moved on and referred to another woman as amazing. He had never said such things to her, perhaps out of fear at the time. He's moved on, Asia remarked softly. Still, I kind of miss the attention he gave us, Zenobia added, though she acknowledged it was for the best. Ravel turned to Rosweiss, curious. So, how did Issei manage to control his powers? I'm not sure how he did it, Rosweiss replied. Azazel, Lady Yasaka, and I weren't around him at the time. But once he did gain control, he seemed much happier. I can tell you about our experiences during the first week. He trained for the next 2 weeks to extend the duration he could use his hollow powers. Kiba interjected, now, the real question on everyone's mind. The girl? Rosweiss teased, a playful smile on her face. Sorry, I don't know much about her. With a skip in her step, she left the room. Akino observed, well, she's definitely giddy. Being around all those happy Yukai children must be the cause. She then pondered, I wonder about the new girl. Issei visited his parents and shared details about his time in Kyoto, explaining that the internship was a form of self-management and helping others. It wasn't a complete lie, and they believed him. He returned with a variety of desserts, and Kaneko was happily indulging in sweets. After unpacking and taking care of his tasks, Issei joined the others to prepare for the raiding game. The day of the game arrived and they traveled to the underworld. After completing the formalities, the match began, Team Rias versus Team Bale, with both teams positioned on opposite sides of a large platform. Looks like someone got a new pawn, Issei noted. It seems Serorg has a trump card too, Akino replied. Bring it on, Issei said with a grin. Azazel stepped forward, introducing himself. Greetings, everyone. I'm Azazel, and I'll be your commentator. Of course he is, Team Rias muttered in unison. Azazel continued, on Team Gremory, we have the Red Dragon Emperor, and on Team Bale, a new member whose identity remains a mystery. Serorg has come prepared for this fight. Without further ado, let the match begin. The battles unfolded much like they did in the anime, with Issei facing Serorg's bishop. As the match progressed, Issei transformed into his balance breaker, ready to confront the Bale bishop, a striking woman with long, wavy blonde hair. She attempted to distract him, but Issei was unfazed. With a swift move, Issei knocked her out, surprising everyone. That would have worked on the old me, but I'm not that foolish pervert anymore, he declared, spreading his wings to cover her and prevent further embarrassment. The crowd erupted in cheers, amazed at Issei's transformation. Serorg acknowledged the change in Issei, curious about his newfound strength. Beat me and I'll share, Issei challenged. The matches continued, with Akino, Zenobia, Rosweiss, and Kiba all facing off against Serorg and ultimately losing. Issei's frustration grew, and he was eager to take on Serorg himself. Azazel announced the next match, Issei versus Keisha Abaddon. Akino may have lost to her, but will the Red Dragon Emperor prevail? Begin. Put all your power into defense if you want to survive, Issei warned. Keisha smirked, tough talk, kid. I warned you, Issei replied, activating his balance breaker. With a burst of speed, Issei charged at her, but she vanished into a green light just as he struck. Serorg explained that he had made her retire, acknowledging Issei's growing anger. I apologize, my anger took over. I was saving my armor promotions for you, but it seems the secret is out, Issei admitted. Serorg then proposed a battle royal, 2 kings versus 2 pawns. The crowd cheered at the idea, and Azazel confirmed the match would take place. Rias, concerned for Asia's safety, asked her to stay behind. As the battle commenced, Issei faced Serorg's pawn, who transformed into a massive golden lion. Rias prepared to fight the lion while Issei took on Serorg. With intense combat, both Issei and Serorg exchanged powerful blows, the crowd captivated by the spectacle. Just as Serorg was about to throw another punch, the lion crashed into him, causing him to stagger. Please don me, the lion urged. No, Serorg replied firmly. I told you it will only happen if there's an emergency in the underworld. Do it, Issei urged, ready for the next phase of the battle. Issei, are you crazy? Rias exclaimed, concerned for his safety. This decision could be fatal. Issei looked determined as he addressed Rias. We promised to fight each other at our best. Sorry, Rias. Come on, Serorg, let's fight without holding back. Serorg chuckled. It seems I owe you an apology. I did hold back, but no more. Regulus. Balance break. In an instant, Serorg transformed into a suit of golden armor, his power surging dramatically. Rias watched anxiously. Are you still going to fight him? Yeah, Issei replied, boosting his power to the limit as he charged forward. Serorg blocked the attack, but with a single punch, Issei's armor shattered, sending him flying backward. Issei! Rias cried, rushing to his side to check for injuries. He was bruised, but his armor had absorbed most of the impact. Are you okay? Rias asked, concern etched on her face. Yeah, but my body is aching. How many phoenix tears do we have? Issei inquired. 2, Rias replied. Mind if I have one? He asked. Sure, Issei, she said with a small smile. Issei took a phoenix tear and drank it, feeling his bruises heal and energy replenish. Do you give up, Issei? Serorg taunted. Not a chance. I have another trick up my sleeve, Issei declared, rising to his feet and summoning his mask after dispelling his armor. What the hell? Serorg exclaimed. Get ready. Ascalon, Issei announced. Blade, Draig responded. Issei grasped Ascalon as it materialized from his sacred gear. In a flash, he disappeared and reappeared behind Serorg, ready to strike. Serorg barely managed to react in time, but the blade cut through the mane of his armor, leaving a long slash mark on his back. Serorg jumped forward to evade another attack. What kind of power is this? Serorg asked, astonished. This is my trump card if my promotions aren't enough. It's my holification, and that move from earlier is called Flash Step, Issei explained, his voice echoing with a dual tone. Who taught you that? Rias asked, intrigued. A very cute fox in Kyoto. Ari really is an excellent teacher, Issei replied with a grin. Now I know her name, Rias said, a hint of admiration in her voice. You continue to surprise me, Hyudo. Now that I know how fast you are, I can fight accordingly. Bring it on, those eyes tell me to go all out, Serorg challenged. Issei used Flash Step again, slashing at Serorg, who managed to block the attack this time. Serorg caught Issei's arm and punched him in the face, breaking part of the mask. Issei quickly repaired it, showcasing his durability from training. They engaged in close combat once more, with Serorg needing to avoid being cut down. Serorg glanced at Rias, then condensed energy in his fist and launched it at Issei, who dodged effortlessly. You missed, Issei taunted. I wasn't aiming for you, Serorg replied, a smirk on his face. Issei turned just in time to see the energy moving toward Rias. And no, he shouted, appearing in front of her to take the hit. Issei? Rias gasped, looking at him in shock. Issei looked up at her, his expression a mix of determination and pain. Rias's thoughts raced. Those eyes. They scare me. I see the anger, and they see right through me. Issei, I'm sorry. I wish I could take it all back. Issei, sensing her fear, returned to the fight with Serorg. That was a dirty trick. Sorry, but I was never planning on letting her get hit. She is family, and I'm here to fight you too. I just needed time to figure out how to beat you, Serorg explained. Then I'm going to take you down before you can take us down. Get ready, Issei declared, powering up and combining his Siro with Ascalon. Hollow Dragon Talon. Issei shouted, releasing a blackish-red energy wave that struck Serorg directly, damaging his armor. He continued to use Flash Step and Siro shots, overwhelming Serorg with a barrage of attacks. Wow! Rias breathed, astonished. The crowd erupted in excitement. I knew he was strong, but this is unbelievable. Serorg is having a tough time, Azazel remarked. Serorg, though challenged, remained focused. Why aren't you using the power of your sacred gear like I am? I can't risk that. This power is new to me, so if I combine it with Draig's, who knows what will happen, Issei explained. Then you won't be able to win. I won't let you take me down. Overdrive. Serorg shouted, channeling all his energy and a bit of his life force to become even stronger. Issei's eyes widened. Oh no! Issei, watch out! Rias screamed. Huh! Issei turned, just as Serorg seemingly teleported to him and punched through his chest. The crowd fell silent as red wings emerged from Issei's back, blood spraying everywhere. Rias gasped, covering her mouth in shock. What? No. Azazel whispered. Serorg powered down, realizing the gravity of his actions. He saw Issei before him, a hole in his chest. No, what have I done? Serorg stammered, horrified. He withdrew his hand, and Issei fell face-first to the ground. Rias rushed to him, using the second phoenix tear, but the wound was too severe for it to heal. What have I done? Serorg repeated, regret flooding his voice. Issei, can you hear me? Issei? Issei? Rias cried, desperation in her tone. Issei floated in a dark subconscious, contemplating his fate. Well, looks like this is it. I'm sorry, Rias, everyone. All things considered, it was a good life, albeit a short one. Suddenly, he heard a voice calling him. Sit. Issei. Who's there? Rias? Is that you? He asked, confused. Issei, come back to us, the voice urged. It is you. Sorry, but I'm done for, Issei replied, feeling defeated. Back so soon? Geez, dude, Hollow Issei chimed in. Issei remained silent. You know what you have to do if you want to see Ari again. You promised her a date, remember? Hollow Issei reminded him. Memories of Ari flooded back. That's right. I promised her. I also promised to beat Serorg and help Rias win. Then get up. Get up and fight, Hollow Issei urged. I will. I will. I will fulfill my promises. Issei declared, determination igniting within him. Rias cried as Serorg shook with pain and regret. The crowd watched, holding their breath as Issei lay motionless. Irina fell to her knees, devastated by the sight of her childhood friend bleeding on the ground. Asia stood frozen in shock. Issei, please. Come back, Rias pleaded. Suddenly, Rias felt the air sting and a gust of wind. She looked toward the source and gasped. Issei? Is that you? She whispered. Oh no. Rias and Serorg, get out of there now. All ultimate class devils and above, we need your help to contain him now. Azazel shouted, urgency in his voice. Rias struggled to comprehend what was happening. She stood up and moved closer to Issei, who stood there motionless, placing her hand on his face, or rather, his mask. It was cold and rough to the touch. Serorg got up and looked at Issei with concern. Issei, are you okay? He asked. Issei extended his hand, summoning Ascalon. With a powerful swing, the ground cracked beneath him, and the force of the winds sent Rias flying. Serorg caught her just in time. Is that even Issei anymore? Serorg wondered aloud. We need to leave now. Rias urged. Issei let out a roar, releasing waves of energy that signaled impending chaos. Rias shouted, Issei. Come back to your senses. Another roar escaped Issei as he charged a Siro between his horns. Serorg's instincts screamed at him to run, and he did. Issei fired the Siro, narrowly missing Rias and Serorg. The blast shot off into the distance, creating a bright flash followed by a massive mushroom cloud. The barrier around them began to crack under the force of the attack. Issei fired again, and once more they dodged, another mushroom cloud erupting far away. We need to leave right now, Rias insisted. Gee, you think? You owe me an explanation for what the hell is happening, Serorg replied. Yeah, sounds about right, Rias agreed. Both shouted, we retire, and were enveloped by a green light, teleporting away just before Issei unleashed his third Siro. Issei continued to fire at the barrier, each hit causing it to crack further. Summoning his boosted gear, he amplified his power and charged up another Siro, which shattered the barrier completely. The barrier is destroyed. Everyone evacuate immediately. Get the women and children to safety. Azazel commanded, flying out and activating his artificial balance breaker. He was soon joined by Seraphal, Graphia, and Surzex. What is happening, Azazel? Graphia asked. I'll explain everything later. Stop him before he enters the Juggernaut Drive. Azazel replied urgently. Hang on, say, we are coming. Surzex called out. They entered the dimension and surrounded Issei. Without hesitation, Issei used Flash Step, slashing at everyone. They managed to put up more of a fight than Serorg, pushing Issei to his limits. Issei split Surzex's spears made of POD almost every time, while Azazel used his spear for mid-range attacks. Issei countered easily, kicking Azazel hard enough to break his armor, revealing a beaten and bruised Azazel. Serafal created water dragons, their force hurting Issei, but he healed immediately. Grayfia attempted to restrain him but couldn't do so without causing harm. They realized they needed to stop him with greater force. The Azazel was down, but Serafal, Surzex, and Grayfia pushed their limits and attacked Issei simultaneously. Surzex, now covered in his signature POD, attacked relentlessly. Grayfia created a magic circle, increasing gravity on Issei alone, while Serafal summoned more water dragons to strike him hard. Issei howled in pain, and Draig warned everyone. Everyone run. He's about to use the Juggernaut drive. Oh, hell no! Azazel exclaimed, finding the will to fight. He appeared behind Issei, only to take a Siro shot to the gut, fortunately sustaining only minor damage. Issei began to enter the Juggernaut drive. His body grew larger yet remained slender, red armor manifesting around him, changing to black with white spikes. His eyes were like portals to hell, and a long, deadly tail extended behind him, flames flickering from the hole in his chest. "We need help," Surzex said. "Incoming!" he shouted as Issei supercharged his Blast, preparing to fire until a blue streak of light descended upon him. A voice echoed, "Divide X 100. "You called Valley?" Serafal asked. "Who else would be willing to stop him?" Azazel replied. Valley entered his Juggernaut drive, continuing to divide Issei's power. "Azazel, just what happened to Hyudo? This power? It's too much," Valley said as Issei began to shrink back to his normal size. Eventually, he returned to his Vasto Lord form. Chains shot out from magic circles on the ground, restraining him. As Issei charged up another Siro, Arthur appeared and cut off his horns, causing the Siro to disperse. Issei's mask started to crack and then shattered. He fell to the ground, and so did Valley, his Juggernaut drive breaking apart as he returned to himself, breathing heavily. Issei lay on the ground with a hole still in his chest. The chains released him and returned to the magic circle from which Kuroka emerged. "Valley, you okay?" Kuroka asked. "No, not really, but I'll be fine," Valley replied. "Is the Red Dragon Emperor okay?" Arthur inquired. Surzex approached Issei, and Kuroka rushed to his aid. She noticed the hole in his chest but was astonished to see that Issei was still alive. "This makes no sense," Kuroka said. Surzex picked up the pieces of the mask beside Issei. "What the hell happened to you, Issei?" More portals appeared, and Serorg along with Team Rias emerged, covered in bandages. Yasaka and Ari followed, Yasaka in her true nine-tailed fox form and Ari in her hollow state. They looked at Issei, who lay there with a hole in his chest. "It happened, didn't it?" Yasaka said. "I'm afraid so, Lady Yasaka," Azazel replied. Before anyone could say anything else, the pieces of the mask began to float and transformed into mist, hovering over Issei and filling the hole in his torso, effectively regenerating him. Everyone watched in awe. "Ultra-high-speed regeneration? Issei, now you're just showing off," Ari remarked. Issei shot up suddenly, startling everyone except Ari. "Please tell me I didn't kill anyone," he said. Relief washed over them all as they sighed. Grayfia smacked him on the head. "You have a lot of explaining to do, mister." "Geez, that hurt," Issei complained. "So what happened?" Ari asked. "Something incredible and horrific. It's truly a miracle that no one is dead," Surzex explained, pulling footage from the magic camera used to record the raiding game. Those who hadn't seen it turned pale at the sight. Issei looked sad but managed to smile in the end. "I'm glad everyone is all right," he said. "Yeah. Can I get someone to heal me?" Azazel asked. "Sorry," Issei replied. "Don't worry about it. I've handled worse," Azazel said, though everyone thought otherwise, remembering how close he had come to death. Asia stepped forward, using her twilight healing to tend to Azazel. Valley got up and looked at Issei. Okay, Hyudo, what was that power and how long have you been hiding it? Issei sighed, realizing he owed everyone an explanation. I was testing my flight speed and duration in my balance breaker 2 months ago. I reached the coast of Japan and, exhausted from flying at supersonic speeds, I rested on the grass. That's when I encountered a hollow. I didn't sense its presence until it was too late. It bit me and I was turned into a hollow in a way. I trained with Ari, whom stretched her power long ago, and Lady Yasaka, Isay, and Rosweiss helped me out. Everyone turned to look at the three, except for Ari. You three knew this might happen? They exclaimed in unison. Yasaka replied, it was a small possibility, but I had faith that Issei would be able to control it. And by the looks of it he did, Ari added. Rias asked, how so? Azazel explained, because he didn't critically injure anyone, even though he could have. He was mostly on the defense. Once he combined his hollow and juggernaut drive, he was using Draig's powers, and you know what that means. Everyone looked puzzled. Draig clarified, it means that I was able to take control to some extent. Issei managed to control his hollow part while I controlled the juggernaut drive. Speaking of which, Albion and Valley. Thank you. Albion responded, it feels strange to thank us, Red One. Draig nodded. But I'm thankful for your aid. You too managed to bring my partner back to normal. Valley added, and it took everything we had just to do that. Grafia pondered, I wonder if both Draig and Issei ever lost control again then. Surzex concluded, it would take Great Red and Ophis to take Issei down. Issei went pale. Oh, we won't have to worry about that. Aquino asked, what do you mean? Issei replied, the last time I used the juggernaut drive, I lost a lot of my life force. I would live a century at most, compared to the usual 10,000 devil years. But now that I did it again, His expression turned blank, and everyone else mirrored his concern. Draig then spoke up. Actually, you won't die anytime soon. I analyzed it, and you used up most of your hollow power and stamina this time. You'll live. Everyone sighed in relief. So, who won the game? Issei asked. Rias answered, it was a tie. We both retired at the same time to avoid getting blasted into oblivion. Issei apologized, sorry. Surzex said, now we better inform the public that everything is all right. What should we do with the 3 Chaos Brigade members? Valley replied, don't worry about me. I'm done with them. In fact, I'll join you under the condition that we are all pardoned, and I get to fight Hyudo again. Issei chuckled, geez, you're a battle maniac. Valley continued, it took all my power and juggernaut drive just to turn you back to normal, and that was with everyone working together. I have a lot of training to do. Seraphal chimed in, well, considering you 3 helped us save the underworld without any casualties, I agree to your terms. Surzex added, as do I, but you will be kept under observation. Is that clear? The 3 nodded. Grafia asked, what about Chow Chow, Biko, and La Fei? Arthur assured, they will agree to your condition. Ravel inquired, now that the raiding game was interrupted, what will happen? Serorg shrugged, live to fight another day, I suppose. As everyone continued to talk, Issei got up, but his legs were shaking. Just before he fell, Ari helped him stand. Don't push yourself, she said. Thanks. Once I recover, I'll take you on the date I promised, Issei replied. Ari smiled but had a tiny concern. The girls are looking at us in envy while the Black Nikomata is interested in you. Care to explain that? Issei groaned, oh no. Kuroka introduced herself, my name is Kuroka, and he's the future father of my kids. Issei quickly responded, again, I never agreed to that. Kuroka insisted, after seeing how powerful you became, I won't stop trying to have your kids. Naya. Issei shook his head. After seeing how powerful I became, you really think you can? Ari teased, oh snap. Issei said, sorry Kuroka, but it's not going to happen. I'm a one-woman kind of guy now. Everyone except for the ORC, Azazel, Yasaka, and Rosweiss. Gasped. Kuroka was taken aback. Wait, what? I thought you wanted a HRM. Issei replied. Nope. I grew up, and having a charm just isn't my thing. Graphia, Surzex, Serafal, and Serorg looked at Issei, while Valley and Arthur smiled at the new and improved Issei. Kuroka felt a bit down. Hey, there's no need to feel so down, Issei reassured her. I'm sure you'll find the right guy to have a family with. Ari then had an idea. Issei, sit down for a moment. Issei sat down on some rubble from his earlier sword swing. Ari pulled Kuroka aside to talk. Kuroka asked, "What's this about?" Ari explained, "I know you like him for reasons other than wanting to bring new Nikomata into the world due to low numbers, but so do I. How about I try to convince him to date us both? I don't mind sharing since that's how we yokai do things anyway." Kuroka smiled sweetly. "Thanks. I never got your name." "It's Ari," she replied. Back with Issei, Serafal asked, "So, Issei, care to explain what you really meant by one-woman lover?" The ORC members, except for Ravel and Rosweiss, looked nervous, fearing Issei would reveal too much. Issei began. "I realized that my love life with the girls in our team wouldn't work out. Rias is my emissary, and I'm just a low-class pawn. Our relationship might cause too much backlash, and I didn't want anyone thinking I would give more attention to one or the other. All of this would have ripped the team apart, and none of us want that. We are better off as friends and teammates." Graphia asked, "But don't you love Rias?" "I do love her, but I'm not in love. There's a difference. Our being a couple was what the underworld decided. After Riser was no longer in the picture, I was put on a pedestal right next to her. A forced relationship doesn't work out for anyone." Surzek sighed. "I am saddened by the news, but your logic is accurate. Things did turn out exactly as you describe it. Rias, are you okay with this?" Rias nodded. "Yes. We all accepted it, and it's the right thing to do." Issei concluded, "It's amazing how clearly one can think when they don't feel lust. And Surzex, I'm sorry, but the grabbing dragon is done for." Surzex exclaimed, "What?" Graphia added, "Issei, the children love you." Issei replied, "After what they saw, I doubt it. I probably traumatized them." A dark cloud loomed over him. Serafal suggested, "How about a reboot?" Everyone looked at her, intrigued. What better way for them to get to know the new Issei? The earlier incident with the dragon was a sort of test, and they were exploring other ideas. Azazel remarked, "That might work." Issei in his hollow state was pretty impressive. "Scary but impressive." Issei replied, "I can't tell if that's a compliment." Just then, Ari and Kuroka returned. Rosweiss suggested, "We should clean this mess up and go home." Graphia added, "Leave that to us. Issei, once you recover, I want to know the real reason for your change. No one changes so drastically so quickly unless they've suffered." The members of Team Rias froze at her words. Valley, Kuroka, and Arthur exchanged confused glances. "Yeah, that's fair," Issei said. Graphia turned to Azazel. "You too?" "Yes, ma'am," Azazel replied. Kuroka asked, "Should I ask?" Ari shook her head. "No, not yet. You'll find out soon enough." Issei and the others went home, and all members of Team Valley followed Surzex. Kuroka was no longer marked as a stray due to her aid in saving the underworld. Serorg began training in every way possible after healing. Yasaka returned to Kyoto, but Ari stayed by Issei's side, mainly to ensure his inner hollow didn't take over. She also had another reason: she liked him. Issei slept for almost 3 days as fatigue hit him hard. During that time, Ari and the rest of Team Rias and Irina got to know her better. "So you're the one, Ari," Rias said. Ari felt a bit nervous under their scrutiny. "The one how?" Aquino chimed in, "The one Issei likes and said he's going on a date with you soon." Ari's heart soared at the realization that Issei liked her back. "Yeah, we agreed to go on a date after the game, but it's best that he recovers first. Also, I didn't catch your names." The ORC and Irina introduced themselves, except for Rosweiss. When Rias introduced herself at the end, Ari's demeanor changed. They backed off, and she quickly returned to her normal self after taking a deep breath. "Rias. Grammar. Aquino. Hi Majima. Kaneko." Tujun Kiba. Yuto, she said, her voice laced with tension. Wait, why are you so angry? Rias asked. Him, Ari replied, her expression darkening. The four of them fell silent, their expressions gloomy. Kiba finally spoke. Now I understand your anger. You know about it. Ari calmed herself. Yes, I do. I needed to know how his hollow powers were triggered and to what extent. He had to tell me. Akino inquired, what else did he say? That he forgives you for, Ari answered. Everyone froze at her words. Irina remarked, less than a month ago he nearly killed Rias. Ari responded, Irina, Issei forgave them and did something even harder than that. He forgave himself, which is something far too few good people do. Asia asked, meaning? Ari explained, he accepted the part of him that caused him trouble and overcame it. For example, his lust caused him issues, but after controlling it he became a far better person. For the whole 3 weeks, he looked Lady Yasaka in the eyes instead of at our bodies. He's a real gentleman. Zenobia asked. He shared everything? Yes, he had to. There wasn't anyone really helping him because no one here truly experienced what he did. Don't get me wrong, I know all of you saw your mistakes and tried to make things right by being there for him, but he needed something else. Rosweiss added, or someone else. She winked at Ari, who blushed. I don't want to sound boastful. Sorry, Ari said. Kaneko teased. She even teased him after they returned. He turned red and not from lust. Ravel wondered, I wonder how you connected so deeply in just 3 weeks. Ari replied, we are two of a kind after all. She shifted into her hollow state. Kiba noted, but both of your hollowifications look different. Ari explained, I was born with mine. Issei was turned into one directly and from the most powerful type of hollow. I'm as strong as a high-class devil, but he's ultimate class easily. Akino added, but combined with the boosted gear. Ari concluded, Devil King level or above, no question. It took Surzek's Lucifer, his queen, Azazel, and Seraphal Leviathan to stop him. Rias remarked, and he was mostly in control of it. It's honestly amazing. Ari continued, Hollow and dragon powers are fueled mainly by emotions like rage, but forgiveness and self-control greatly help in string the hollow within. Irina asked, how were you born with them? My mother was bitten by a hollow shortly before I was born. My body accepted the hollow powers, but my mother couldn't. She passed away, and I hated my powers because of it. But then I realized it wasn't my fault or my mother's, so I accepted the hollow and mstread it. Rias said, you let go of the anger, and so did Issei. So what will you do about what Lady Graphia said? Ari asked. Zenobia replied, tell her the truth, obviously. We accept any punishment she has for us. Everyone agreed. Ari expressed, I hope she doesn't punish you guys. But don't you hate us for what we did? Rias asked. I am angry about that, but if Issei can forgive, then I have. No ill will towards you, Ari said. After a moment of silence, Irina asked, so any plans for your date? Not really. There's a fall festival coming up soon, so we might try that, Ari replied. Kaneko inquired, what did you talk to my sister about? Well, that's between us for now. Us cats and foxes must stick together, she said with a smirk and a slight blush. A day or two later, Issei had fully recovered, and everyone met up with Azazel. Ari joined them to report on the training Issei underwent. When they visited Surzek's, Graphia, and Seraphal, they were met with looks that demanded the truth. So who will start? Surzek asked. I will, but I request that you keep an open mind and know that I'm not angry and am happy with my life, Issei said. Graphia nodded. Very well. Continue. Everyone explained their roles in the events that led to Issei being heartbroken, his outburst that resulted in dragon shots being fired at the sea and the moon, getting bitten by a hollow, his depression, change in personality, hollowification, and training with Ari, Yasaka, Azazel, and Rosweiss in Kyoto for 3 weeks. That's quite the story, Graphia remarked. Surzek addressed Rias, Akino, Kiba, and Kaneko. I'm honestly disappointed, but you're in luck. Issei holds no grudge against any of you. In addition, you did try to make things right when you recognized your mistakes. You are let off with a warning. Serafal turned to Ari. We owe you a great deal for helping Issei control his powers, which prevented him from causing chaos in the underworld during his hollow drive. Issei added, I like the name. Hollow drive, sounds fearsome. Serafal cheered, Yay! I'm glad you like it. Grafia concluded, so now we decide on the Red Dragon reboot. We can decide that in due time. Issei expressed his longing for wholesome family entertainment, suggesting that it was better for everyone involved. Surzex proposed including some light-hearted innuendo for the adults, to which Issei agreed, as long as it was kept to a reasonable amount. Azazel chimed in, suggesting a couple of jokes per season if it became a show like before. Serafal concluded the meeting, noting it was the quickest one they had ever had. After the meeting, Rias informed everyone that the match had been decided as a draw, and that Issei and Serorg could compete for the champion title next time. With that, everyone went home. Ari approached Issei, asking if he knew what to do next. Issei confirmed he did, and they discussed going on a date. Ari suggested the upcoming winter festival in Kyoto, which Issei thought sounded perfect. Akino reminisced about their only date, which had been interrupted by their friends following them. The 5 friends looked away in embarrassment as Issei advised them not to follow on their date if they wanted to avoid any trouble. He manifested his Vasto Lord mask, prompting Ari to use her partial hollow transformation and remind everyone to behave. The group agreed to stay put, making Issei smile at their smart choice. After instilling a bit of fear in Rias's team, Issei and Ari spent time together daily as the fall festival approached. They decided to go to the park for a practice date since neither had experienced an actual date before. As they sat on a bench enjoying each other's company, a little cat jumped onto Issei's lap. Ari cooed at the cute cat, but Issei recognized it as Kuroka when she transformed back into her Nikomata form. Kuroka explained that she had been waiting for an answer about their agreement. Issei was confused, and Ari reminded him that they had discussed both going out with him if he was willing to accept. Issei expressed his preference for being with just one woman, but Ari encouraged him to listen to Kuroka. Kuroka confessed that while she might seem flirtatious, she genuinely liked him and hoped he would consider her feelings. Issei, after some thought, agreed to give it a shot, making Kuroka very happy. Kuroka transformed back into a cat out of excitement, and Issei rubbed her ears, which made her freeze in delight. When he stopped, Kuroka playfully complained, and Issei reassured her that she was a person first. Kuroka appreciated his maturity and asked him to continue scratching her ears, which he happily did, causing her to relax completely. Ari, feeling a bit left out, requested the same treatment. Issei, relieved that her request was innocent, began to scratch her ears as well. Both girls enjoyed the attention, and Issei found himself blushing at their reactions. Eventually, he decided to slow down and stop, ensuring everyone was calm. Later, when Issei returned home with Ari and Kuroka, he found his team packing their belongings. Confused, he asked what was happening. Akino explained that they were moving out to avoid any awkwardness if Issei and Ari started dating. Issei protested, wanting to keep their family together, but Rias pointed out that some of them had hurt him in the past, making it necessary for them to separate. Irina and Asia decided to stay, but Issei was concerned about Kaneko. He suggested that Kuroka should stay with them to help the two spend time together. Kuroka was surprised by this, but Issei assured her he would talk to Kaneko about it. He then decided to go look for Kaneko, knowing she was out getting snacks and would likely be at her favorite shopping spot. Issei walked out the door to look for Kaneko. He found her sitting alone not far from the park, barely visible and looking down. Issei silently approached her. "Hey Kaneko, you doing okay?" he asked gently. Kaneko was a bit startled. "Boy, yeah, I'm fine." Issei raised an eyebrow. Whenever girls say that they're fine, it usually means they aren't. "So what's bothering you?" Kaneko hesitated before responding. "It's Kuroka coming back, isn't it?" "Yes," she admitted. "I know you hate her for leaving you, but you don't know her side of the story. Why not talk to her?" Issei suggested. "I'm afraid to," Kaneko replied. Afraid you'll get close and get hurt again? He asked. Yes. Preaching to the choir, sister? He said with a knowing smile. Kaneko looked down. I never got to fully apologize to you for everything I did. Considering my former nature, I had most of it coming. Look, I know your fear all too well, and it nearly killed me. Don't make my mistake, she really wants to be sisters again, you know. How do you know? Kaneko asked, curiosity piqued. Earlier, I asked Rias to let you stay and catch up with Kuroka. Kuroka was surprised by my request but saddened immediately after, fearing you would leave her like she had to leave you. She had to leave? Kaneko's voice was soft. I believe so. I don't know her past, but I know she cares for you. Give her a chance. Kaneko remained silent for a moment, contemplating his words. You said that you don't want a relationship with 2 or more women at the same time, so what was that at the park? I'm dating Ari, but Kuroka seems to like me as well. Her confession was genuine, so who am I to break her heart? Issei explained. So what will you do? Kaneko asked. I'll go out with both of them as a trial. I'm not sure if I can handle 2 relationships, he admitted. You did good with the rest of us, Kaneko said. Up until that moment, I messed up, Issei replied. Not your fault. We knew about your trauma, which we were responsible for, and still blamed you. Hey, forget about that. I'm over it. If I can get through all that and still love you guys, then you can do it too, he encouraged. Kaneko smiled. Thanks. I'll try. Good. Come on, let's get some ice cream, Issei said, leading her away. Vanilla and chocolate chip, Kaneko requested. Cool, he replied. They picked up some ice cream and returned to find everyone finished packing. They decided to have dessert together after dinner. Issei's parents were disappointed that half of them were moving out but promised to visit. They welcomed Ari and Kuroka, who magically hid their fox and cat ears and tails, as Issei didn't want his parents to know about the supernatural just yet. The fall festival had begun in Kyoto, and everyone was enjoying themselves. Little children played, and the aromas from every food stall were heavenly. Issei was waiting for Ari in a special place in Kyoto, where the supernatural could enjoy the festival without any humans around. Drake, I'm kind of nervous, Issei admitted. You'll be okay, partner, Drake reassured him. Thanks. Issei, Ari called out, and he turned to see her approaching. How do I look? She asked. Look. Wow, he replied, genuinely impressed. Thanks. You look good too, she said, smiling. Issei wore black jeans and a stylish jacket with faux fur on the collar to keep warm. So where would you like to go first? Ari asked. I'll leave that to your better judgment since you know more about the festival and Kyoto than I do, he said. In other words, ladies first, she teased. You are one sly fox, he chuckled. I like that. Come on, the sun is setting, and there will be a fireworks show soon, Ari urged. I'll get us something to eat to really enjoy the show, Issei said. The two enjoyed a perfect date, filled with food, laughter, and fireworks from a small hill. By the end of the night, they shared a sweet kiss. That was my first kiss, you know, Ari said, her cheeks slightly flushed. And it's an honor to be your first, Issei replied, smiling. A flirt as always, she teased, caressing his hands and face with her tails. Issei had never felt such a soft and gentle sensation before. When she stopped, he came back to his senses. Why did you stop? That was so soft, he asked. Make you a deal. Kiss me again, and you can feel more than just my tails. I'm talking about my lips, she said playfully. I'm in heaven, he replied, leaning in. They began to kiss, and after a while, Issei was the first to pull back. You okay? Ari asked, looking concerned. Yeah. It's just my instincts almost kicked in, he admitted. Well, I'm honestly glad you did. I wasn't ready to go that far yet, she said. Neither am I, he confessed. I did enjoy it though, she said with a smile. Best kiss of my life, Issei declared. Even better than the others? Ari asked, raising an eyebrow. You have a gift that none of them have, he complimented. Ari swung her tails playfully at the compliment and kissed him once more. Afterward, Issei walked her back to her place. I had the time of my life, he said. As did I, Ari replied, beaming. If you ever want to go on another date, then let me know, Issei offered. Deal, she said, heading inside. He could hear her singing with joy, and it warmed his heart. Just as he started to walk away, Kuno jumped on his back. What the, Kuno? Where did you come from? Issei exclaimed. Lady Yasaka appeared right after that. She sensed your presence here, and once she does, even I can't stop her. Why didn't you come visit us today if you were here in Kyoto? Kuno asked. Sorry, Kuno. I planned on it, but there was something I needed to do, Issei explained, glancing at Ari's house with a smile. Yasaka noticed his expression. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you two were on a date. Ari was behind the door, listening intently. Yes, it was our first date together, Issei confirmed. I'm sorry for not telling you that I was here, Kuno, he added. No need for that. If anything, we owe you an apology for interrupting your date, Yasaka said kindly. No, it's quite all right. Our date had concluded, Issei reassured them. Are you staying for a while? Kuno asked hopefully. I can't, but I promise to visit. If you want to see me, just know that I'm only one call away, he said. Can we play with Big Sis Ari again like last time? Kuno asked eagerly. Sure, we love spending time with you, Issei replied. As he walked away, Ari whispered to herself, if you're that good with kids that aren't your own, just imagine how good of a father you'll be one day to your kids. Ari found herself lost in thoughts about her future with Issei and the possibility of having children. She knew she wasn't the only one with feelings for him. Kuroka had her own affections as well. Peeking through the curtains, she spotted Issei lifting Konu onto his shoulders while Yasaka flashed her a smile and a wink. Ari squeaked in surprise and ducked down, feeling a rush of embarrassment. It was clear that Yasaka was playing the role of a supportive friend. Later, Issei teleported home and settled into bed. A moment later, he felt something stir beside him and turned to see Kuroka in her cat form. Hey, Kuroka. Were you waiting for me? He asked. She shifted back to her usual self. So, how was your date? Issei smiled. It went well. What about our date? You said you would like to go out. I'm free tomorrow. How about you? Kuroka replied. Sounds good. We could watch a movie if you want, Issei suggested. Done. I'm a free devil now, so why not? Kuroka agreed. The next day, they enjoyed their date, watching a movie and sharing a lovely dinner. Kuroka was thrilled to be free, and by the end of the evening, they shared a kiss. Just then, a flash from a camera startled them. They turned to see a pair of familiar figures hidden in the bushes, arguing in hushed tones. Why is the flash on? One voice whispered. It's too dark for a photo without it, the other replied. Issei and Kuroka quietly approached the bushes. Issei summoned his hollow mask, while Kuroka blushed in embarrassment and frustration at the interruption. With a swift motion, Issei cut through the bush, revealing Irina and Gasper, who looked at him with wide eyes. Oh, hey, Irina stammered. Issei chuckled. I warned you. The two of them took off running as Issei transformed into his Vasto Lord form and chased after them. Kuroka fell back, laughing at the scene. Thankfully, Issei had control over his powers. Otherwise, things could have ended badly for the two. As time passed, Issei found himself falling in love with both Ari and Kuroka. Within 3 years, he married them both and welcomed 2 children, Naruto and Kurama, who were inseparable. Issei had several children with Kuroka, fulfilling her longing for a large family and helping to ensure the survival of her race. When he eventually revealed the supernatural world to his parents, they accepted it without hesitation. Rias and Akino envied Ari and Kuroka but understood they couldn't trade places. Issei starred in a new action series that became a family favorite, surpassing even the popular Grab-in Dragon. His children were inspired to train hard and become strong, and Issei earned enough to provide them with the best life possible. Within a year, Issei mastered his hollow drive, becoming so powerful that even Valle, despite his rigorous training, couldn't match him in combat. This led Valle to eventually concede defeat. Issei's power was crucial in preventing the release of Trihexa, and he easily overpowered Rizvim Lucifer, who could never corrupt him. Despite his strength, Issei always made time for his family. He was known by many names, such as the Hollow Dragon and Crimson Hollow, but he preferred to be called by his own name and Draegs, as they were one. He taught many children to accept their flaws and strive for improvement, positively impacting their lives. His powers were passed down to his children, who were recognized as a new race in the underworld. Initially feared, Issei won over those around him with kindness. Rias became the champion of the raiding games, having Issei as her pawn until he was promoted to Ultimate Class Devil. Although he was offered the title of Devil King, he declined, preferring to spend time with his family. Issei introduced Matsuda and Motohama to some ladies from the Fallen Angel and Yokai factions, helping them become better people who eventually married. Surzex and Grafia wished Issei were their brother-in-law, but not all wishes come true. Rias and Aquino settled for being loving aunts to his children, as requested by Issei, Ari, and Kuroka. Surzex and Grafia's son, Milicus, gained little siblings through Issei's bond with them. Ophis and Great Red challenged Issei due to his growing power, but Issei refused to fight, wanting to avoid tearing reality apart. Skeptical at first, they soon recognized his peaceful intentions. Issei's family life flourished, with Ophis moving in and bonding with Kaneko over sweets. Kuroka, Ari, and Kaneko helped restore Issei's lost life force after a significant event. He later formed his own peerage, including Ravel, Zenobia, and others. Vala became a close friend, sharing drinks with Surzex and Azazel. As peace reigned, the rivalry between Albion and Draeg faded. La Fei and Cao Cao chose not to join a peerage, content with their lives. Eventually, the truth about the supernatural was revealed to humanity, leading to a democratic approach that fostered trust and unity among devils, fallen angels, and humans alike. Peace spread across the human world, underworld, heaven, and beyond, bringing harmony to all. In a world where humans had mstred magic, they found solutions to nearly all their problems. They could create homes, cultivate food effortlessly, and with the powers of flight and teleportation, the need for vehicles vanished. Pollution and climate change became relics of the past. Those with exceptional magical abilities helped those who struggled, fostering a sense of community among them. Many who wished to fit into the supernatural realms chose to join their ranks. Conflicts that arose were typically resolved peacefully, but in the rare event of hostility, a raiding game would determine the outcome. Should the situation escalate and someone seek war, Issei stood ready, embodying the spirit of a hollow with a heart, prepared to defend his world. And so, the balance of magic and humanity continued, thriving in harmony.